What's up, tricksters and tricksetters, and welcome to another free VOD review. Today at our coaching table, we have one of my private students again, which is great. Basically, every single one of you guys that get my 1 month coaching, you also get a free live VOD review after the coaching is done. So this is like a checkup to see if a cocooner is on a right path, if he is actually following everything that I told him to do. For an example, like the optimal playtime, strats, training, everything. And also to see what he can do better on a specific map. Today we have Omen on Split. Cocooner is a Platinum 2 player. So this is like a Platinum VOD review. But in this VOD he is like Silver 3, Gold 1 because of the rank reset. Now, I already have some very bad suspicions because we finished our coaching at the end of December. And he submitted this VOD on February 25th and he is fucking Silver 3 Gold 1. So my first suspicion is that he didn't play enough of Valorant, which is absolutely stupid because you got tons of content, the training to do, and I can't really remember what you told me through private messages. Maybe I can check it later alone, why you didn't play Valorant. So essentially, we finished our coaching at the start of season 2025, and 24 hours of Valorant in 2 months is not nearly enough, especially at a hard rank reset, for everything that we talked about throughout our private coaching. I specifically told you to try to push yourself, at least for 3 months, to play 3 ranked games every single day. Now, I cannot remember why you didn't play. I'm gonna check it later. I don't want to leak anything, like God knows, like some private information or stuff like that, but I'm gonna check it later. Why you didn't play. Because right now, I cannot tell you anything based on your tracker. I mean, we're gonna see your gameplay, what you're doing, but this is not enough. I mean, based on this tracker, on these 45 games, I mean, I would just say, very fucking good job. I mean, every single stat of yours got 10, 15, 20, 30% better, but 45 matches is nothing in an act, essentially. Like, you played like 45 games to get back into Gold 1. You didn't even get back to your peak rank. And that is why I told you, cocooner, please, if you can, in the next 3 months, try to play 3 games of Valorant every single day. So we have more data that we can talk about in order to change your improvement plan, program, and training. Based on this, I can say the training is working. Aim training is working as well. Everything is working, but only fucking God knows. Because there's not enough games. So, one thing that I would recommend you is the following. Like, try for in the next act. Follow the same training. Like, we're not gonna change anything in your training, in your path, in the agents that you made. Nothing. Nada. But please try in the next 2 months to play at least, like, I don't know, 120 games. Like, 120 games should be enough to get some real representation of your improvements and in which direction you're going as a player. Because here, when it comes to the agent, like, I told you that you should be maining Omen, Chamber, Phoenix, and Gecko. Based on these stats, I would say amazing, like, very fucking good job. Keep abusing these 3 agents and you will be, immortal ascendant in no time. Not enough games. With the Phoenix, you're still performing well, but you're losing a bit more than you're winning. So what I would recommend you, because you never talk to me. Like, as far as I remember, we finished our 1-month coaching at the end of December, and you never asked me a single question. You never sent me a single clip of your Phoenix gameplay through the private messages. Like, if you already have a problem with Phoenix, let's see what is the problem. Because I firmly believe that this agent can suit you really well. But really, really good. Same as Gecko, but with Gecko you played like one game this sec, like whatever. You just lost because of bad teammates, bad game, whatever. It doesn't matter, essentially. So listen, I'm not gonna go through your tracker at all, simply because you didn't play enough games of Valorant. And I don't give a shit, essentially. Like, this tells us nothing, because it's only 45 games in 2 months. You still have my 24/7 support. Every day, you can abuse me with the questions. Anything that you want to discuss moving forward. Every day, you can send 3 clips for an in-depth private review. Show me why you're losing the matches on Phoenix. You know? What's the problem? Like, show me, like, maybe one of your Phoenix executes, engagements. Let's see what is the problem here. And also, you have these private VOD reviews as well, as a part of that package. Use that as well. You know? And when it comes to the training, aim training and everything, I would just recommend you to reset everything. Like, based on this. Because you took a break. Like, you did. What happened here? You played today in February. You know, at the end of the act, you started playing. When did you have a break? Then you have like 5 days, 10 days, 5 days. Like, you made a lot of these small breaks. You know, 5 to 10 days. So, listen. Reset everything. Reset the training. Reset the improvement plan and program. Start from the ground zero. In the following 3 months. Repeat everything again. And try, as best as you can, to play, I don't know, at least like 120 games in 2 months. So that is like 2 games of Valorant per day. I think that is doable, considering your free time. As far as I remember, you told me that you have like 2, 3, 4 hours to actually play Valorant every single day. And then we're gonna see. Then we're gonna review your tracker again, see if we should change your improvement plan and program, training, aim training and stuff like that. Because, you know, I can just call it a day. I can just say, oh, amazing, like, oh, very good. KD went up by 0.1, ADR by 10, headshot percentage by 2, 3, 4%. I'm amazing. Doesn't work like that. I mean, even though you're gold 1 right now, I know that you're playing definitely against, you know, platinum players. You know, like, all of these players are probably like either peak platinum or they're platinum right now because of your hidden MMR. Yeah, they're gold 3, platinum 2, platinum 3, platinum 2. But very, you know, solid performance, like really solid performance. In terms of like your performance against these platinum players or previous platinum players. But I want to see how you're gonna, like, I need you to reach your peak rank first, you know, platinum 2 again, platinum 1, and I want to see how you're gonna perform against like diamonds and ascendants. Then we will be able to tell what we should do next. Otherwise, this is not enough to say anything, essentially. But hopefully, instead of this VOD review, we will see what you're lacking. You know, as far as I remember, we never did a split VOD review. This is the first time I'm gonna see your gameplay on split. And plus it's Omen on split. one of the best agents to carry on this map. So let's see what we can do better on this mapperoni. Okay, let's see what our friend Cocooner is doing on a defender side of Split with Omensky. The LDR of Split. On a defender side, your default bomb site, number 1 priority, A site. Number 2 priority, B site. Split should be a fast rotation map for you in ranked solo queue, which means that on the first contact between your teammates and enemies, you should be doing fast rotations and prioritizing team play over the map control. Now, that doesn't mean that you should be selling everything for free. That simply means that you really want to fight together with your allies as best as you can. Like, refrag potential is mega important on this map. Now, another thing that is important on this map are the A tower and B tower controls. You always prioritize A tower and B tower control over the bomb site controls if the enemies are splitting the bomb sites. Once the enemies take B tower or A tower, a lot of bad things can happen. Like, you don't know what type of fights your teammates are going to take. You don't know if your teammates are going to expect the timings that enemies might have to lurk, to flank, to open up the map. You cannot risk that in ranked solo queue, especially not when you're playing in a low elo, essentially. Now, on Split, you really want to counter the enemies as best as you can. Like, literally, you should always position yourself in a way where you think the enemies will go next. Another thing, the first round, you always play on A site. The second round, you always gamble on the B tower. This is the smartest way to gamble in the first 2 rounds. In the third round, you position yourself based on what happened in the round number 1 and round number 2. And another important thing on Split is that we should be gathering early information about the enemies in the B main, mid, and A main area of the map. Like, we should never be selling these areas of the map for free. Bare minimum, jump spot the enemies. Second bare minimum, dead zone the enemies. Third, advanced thing, you can maybe fight for these areas of the map together with your teammates. Ask them to take the control, do some one-way smokes, delay the enemies, push, stuff like that. Now, in the first round with Omen, you should always play the classic pistol shorty strategy on the A site. And basically, you buy a shorty, drop it here with a classic pistol. You can buy light shield with 1 shrouded step, or you can buy 2 smokes, paranoia, and 1 shrouded step. You pick up the shorty at the start of the round, and essentially you listen to the sound. Immediately, pre-place this smoke. The smoke should look like this when we're playing this strategy. If you hear the enemies coming through the A main, drop the fast smoke, and with a shorty, try to fuck up the enemies that are going through the smoke. You have this cubby position to hide from the enemy's utility, random spam, and to dodge the enemy's recon abilities through the smoke. Kill enemies through the smoke, then you have 2 options. Option number 1, you can TP into the enemy's smoke, get out from the site, focus on the A tower defense. Option number 2, you can paranoid the enemies and go for the additional aggressive play if you didn't buy the light shield but you prioritize utility. Option number 3, we can simply scoot away back into the site. You don't need to fight anyone anymore. And from the site, we should be trying to take another kill and fight together with our teammates. At least survive long enough so that your teammates can support you. But you always have the, at least 1 shrouded step, so you can always escape any unwanted situation when you're playing this type of a strategy. If enemies are ignoring you, TP on tower and support your teammates on the tower position. If enemies are rotating towards the B side, pushing B or mid, fast rotation B or mid, support your teammates with the smokes on mid or tower, depending how much space enemies have taken. If enemies are pushing B, give your teammates a default smoke for the B main area of the map. But also remember, if you have only 1 smoke and your teammates are stuck at the B backside here, and especially when the enemies have a Sage in the team, prioritize this smoke over the smoke for the main. Like, whenever your teammates are stuck at the backside, you need to give them this smoke so that they can cross or outplay the enemies somehow. If your teammates are just stuck here, like Cypher with a camera or something, most of the times they're just simply gonna die, and there's nothing that you can do about it. That's it. That's the first round. Let's see what our friend Cocoon is gonna do. Cocooner. Okay, we're doing it. Listen, communicate to your teammates. Like, if you're already doing this strategy in the first round, you don't want to have the wall for the A main area of the map. Like, tell the Sage to do this wall either on mid, for the B tower, or for the A tower. But this wall is just gonna maybe fuck us up. Maybe it's gonna completely stop the enemy's push, delay them. Like, the whole point of this strategy is to take one free kill with a shorty, make a small numbers advantage, and then play the retake together with your allies with that numbers advantage. Like, you cannot allow your teammates to do something like this, because there's no point in doing it then. To be honest, I have no idea what that Sage did anyways, like... So, yeah. Actually, this might be good for us, like, considering how our Sage played. And the timing of the smoke was perfect. Perfect smoke as well. This should grant us a free kill onto this Jet. That's why we do this strategy. Basically, it's a free kill. Like, if you're playing it between Iron 1 and Immortal 2, and even in Radiant lobbies, it doesn't matter, like, you want to do this in the first round with the Omen. Now, after this kill, you should instantly switch to the classic pistol. Don't even consider using the shorty anymore. But maybe if the enemies are playing slower, you can reload and try to get one more kill. But usually the best idea is what he did right now. Just switch into the classic pistol, fighting the remaining enemies with your teammates, or simply scooting away with the shrouded steps. Now listen, if you end up alone on the site, and you're getting pinched by the enemies, like there's more enemies coming, but you made this numbers advantage, get the fuck out. You don't need to fight the enemies anymore. The only thing that we need to do, we've done our job. Essentially, you play Valorant like you are working a 9-to-5 job. Basically, like, your job is to make numbers advantage, play on a refrag potential, and essentially, that's it. Nothing else. So, once you do this job, once this job is completed, just rely on a raw refrag potential. Like right now, teleport onto tower, into the enemy smoke. So that enemy Omen doesn't teleport there and fucks your Cypher that is going through vents. Or teleport backside. Your job right now is just to stay alive. Distract the enemies as much as you can. And essentially, you know, that's it. Wait, I need to change the icon. This player is actually Platinum DOS.
One more inside.
Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna talk about your raw mechanics because you have the aim training that you should be doing, that you should have done. Basically, you played only 45 matches of Valorant in 2 months. You made an enormous amount of breaks. Like, I don't give a shit, man. Like, you need to do the training that I gave you. You need to do it every single day if you don't want these things to happen to you. Like, basically, I mean, this is my mechanical skill, essentially, right now. Because I'm not playing Valorant, essentially. But if you want to reach Immortal, Radiant, Ascendant, you need to do the job. Period. Now, second round, very good. We're playing on the B tower. And in the second round, if you lose the first round, simply play the classic pistol shorty strategy on the tower. Drop the shorty here, make sure that you have one shrouded step, one smoke. Bait the enemies with a classic pistol to come towards you. Ba-ba-boo, ba-ba-ba. Try to maybe, you know, headshot one enemy. Do this smoke, switch to the shorty, and through this cubby position, jiggle pick the enemies and try to delete them with a shorty. Once you delete the enemies with a shorty, switch to the classic pistol, and then you can maybe go crazy and teleport behind the enemies and try to kill them. If you think they're gonna be unaware of that, if there is a lot of chaos to mask this sound. Or you can simply scoot away onto the B tower and play passively and try to figure out with which teammate you can play at that moment of time to win this round. Now, if you win the first round, you have multiple options. You can buy the Judge, Heavy Shield with a Sheriff, or with a Classic or Ghost that you saved from the first round. Bait the enemies with a Classic with a Ghost. Make them think you only have the Ghost. They're gonna push you because they are like, oh, this guy only has a Ghost. Let's try to kill him. You pull out the judge, bap, 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 bap. You can do the same smoke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kills. Round is over. You can buy the Stinger and Heavy Shield with utility, which is the most optimal option on split. Stinger is really good on this map, especially to save your economy for the 4th round. Like in the 4th and 5th round, you can already get the Operator for yourself, which is very important on this map. Like even with Omen, you should be playing Operator on the defender side of split, because in these ranks, it is mega easy to get the early kills in A main, B main, and mid area of the map, because players have a terrible pathing, terrible utility usage, terrible reaction time, easy kills, essentially. You can also opt in for the Spectre, which is a bad choice. Stinger is better in terms of economy and everything else. You can also buy the Bulldog, which is the most optimal choice, but just a waste of money for a map such as Split on a defender side. And of course, same as on any other map, when you win the first round, in the second round, probably the best idea is to buy the Outlaw with a light shield, regen shield, heavy shield, and utility, and simply with the body shots, closing out the round. And then in a third round, if enemies mismanage their economy, they're playing the third round with the light shields, that round is over, or already. If you read the enemies correctly, and if you guess correctly where they're gonna push. Body shot demon, take 2 kills, get out, play refray game, done. Period. Now, let's see what our friend is gonna do. Outlaw. Let me see the economy here, like, how much money you had? 3,200. Okay, Outlaw, light shield, smoke, 2 shrouded steps. Okay, for a second round, fine. Listen, we talked about this in our coaching sessions. Basically, observe the body posture of your teammates at the start of the rounds, especially if you're playing a controller such as Omen. The body posture of your teammates can tell you what your teammates are going to do at the start of the round if they are not communicating to you. Right now, we can see that our Sage is playing passively in the B main area of the map, and she is probably holding the wall in her hands. She's gonna wall the B main. That's it. 2 of our teammates are starting in the vents. They look mega aggressively towards the mid area of the map in an anti-eco round. Pushing the mid in the anti-eco round is mega stupid, borderline retarded, essentially. So, if you already see that in this anti-eco round, these guys are looking here aggressively, give them this one-way smoke right here. So we immediately eliminate one angle from which our teammates can die, and they can just focus on the left side right here. And then, of course, if you're playing on tower, no matter if you're playing with a judge, with a stinger, bulldog, outlaw, come towards the stairs, bait the shit out of these idiots, but a smart baiting, you know, don't let them die, simply let them take the first contact, refrag them, that's it. If they're pushing deeper, be ready to support them with a paranoia and play with them. Even if you're playing outlaw or judge, it doesn't matter. Like in these anti-eco rounds, fuck the map control, fuck everything, refrag potential is everything. Like supporting your most aggressive teammates that have the highest chances of dying. Now, should have you done what you did here? Like, should have you maybe pushed the mid with your allies? Absolutely. Like, in this round, you should not play with a Sage and Cypher on the site, but you should play with a Reyna and Neon. Like, they have the highest chances of dying. Like, your Sage and Cypher have the full setup on the B site. They have the wall, they have the slorps, they have the tripwires. Instead of going back on the B site, even with the outlaw, you should have went behind the enemies together with your most aggressive teammates. Because one problem that we have here, when your teammates are pushing mid, they're completely going to, if enemies are pushing B, they're completely going to ignore the possibility that one enemy could have started in the sewers. You need to hold this for them. As they're taking this control, you're doing this. As soon as we clear this angle and we pass it, Then we focus on the enemies in the B main. Our Neon and Reyna are aggressive gorillas. We use them as a refrag tool. They peek, we peek together, take the kills, round is over. Now this round became 10 times harder because of this bad game decision that you made at the start of the round. Like in these unequal rounds, like you need to think hard who you want to support and where you want to support your teammates. I mean, supporting two of your sentinels on B site, we need to trust them to some degree. I mean, they are playing with a full Cypher setup, full Sage setup, like enemies cannot just push into the B side that fast. Plus, your teammates have, you know, the smokes from you. You know, like when you saw the enemies pushing through the B main, we can just give them this one way, right here. Enemies cannot scoot through it. Or just a default smoke towards the enemies. Like in this round, in these type of rounds, you really want to play with these two guys. And even if this was a full buy round, you still should have played with your Neon and Reyna. Now this round became 10 times harder because of this poor game decision. Now listen, man. Here you should have given the smokes to your teammates in B main. Like we saw two enemies in B main. I mean, even if you just saw the Omen, like one enemy, I would not trust my average platinum gold teammate that he is going to take this kill. At least if they do some kind of a spam battle through the smoke, your teammate has higher chances of taking that kill because the smoke is closer to the enemies. You should have ignored this angle for a bit and simply smoke the B main area of the map. Anyways, here, because you saw both Vice and Omen in the B main area of the map, and your teammates are taking an aggressive fight in the B main. Fuck the tower. Like, you need to fight these fights. Because if the Sage dies, if the Cypher dies, and you're left alone, 1 versus 3, we're not gonna have fun time. Okay, 2 enemies are there. They're going back. Okay, so solid game decision here. That you stayed on this spot.
One enemy remaining.
One more time. You have the aim training, you have everything. Don't be lazy. Please do it. If I took my time to make an aim training for you, you should be doing it.
One enemy remaining.
Now, in a 2v1 scenario, no matter which map you're playing, no matter what is the situation, once again, you don't care where this Omen is gonna end up. If he's gonna end up on A or B. The only thing you care about is that we don't isolate 1 versus 1 fights. We need to fight with a Cypher. We want to fight with him. That's it. But also here, like, when you kill this Fade.
One enemy remaining.
I mean, it's okay. Like this is how we should be playing anyways. So here, for an example, instead of rotating towards the A side, you should still stay with the Cypher. Like, we don't know what Omen is gonna do. Maybe he faked using the ropes and going A. And now if your Cypher ends up in a 1v1 against the Omen and he dies, the round is going to become 10 times harder for you. Prioritize refrag game in this type of situations. Don't play like based on information that you don't have. Like, it's way too early in a match to tell like what enemy Omen is going to do. You know, later on during a game you can kind of make these blind predictions once you understand the enemies on a macro and micro level. Like what individual players love to do, what enemies like to do on a macro level, like together as a team. But early on in a match, especially in a second anti-eco round, nothing matters except the refrag game and supporting your most aggressive teammates and playing together. Period. Simplify your gameplay.
30 seconds left.
I mean, also, there is a scenario where you die against this Omen, what then? Then you're praying to Jesus Christ that your Cypher is gonna win 1v1 against Omen. That is something that should never happen to you. Yeah. We should have played with the Cypher. Okay, so in the first round, enemies went A. In the second round, they went B. And in the third round, they're playing a full buy round. If this type of a scenario happens for you in the first 3 rounds, the third round, you're always playing on the A site. And that's it. Now, personally, what I recommend you, if you already have the Outlaw and you're playing Omen in this third round on the A site, don't start on the rafters. Like, start somewhere on the site. We can basically hold this type of an angle. We can hide from the enemy's flashes and then surprise them with a random peek, try to go for a kill, and then teleport away. Like, we can TP towards the elbow. We can teleport maybe onto the tower as well to make the enemies guess where we teleported. Usually the best idea is to teleport into this smoke. So once the enemies do this smoke, simply, we can peek them. You can also hold this type of an angle. On this angle, you will never get flashed by the Reyna flash or Vice flash. Most of the times, they're going to do some kind of a flash here, or they will use some kind of a flash here. I mean, if they use this type of a flash, like, you will get flashed anyways. You can hold this angle, try to go for a kill, and then when the enemies do a smoke, TP inside of the enemy smoke, and support your teammate that is on tower. Now, if your teammate is on the bomb site, still teleport into the tower, because we need to keep some level of tower control. Like, on split, you're kinda willing to die defending the A tower and B tower, but you're never willing to die defending the A site and B site unless you're playing some kind of a bonus eco or hull by round. And anyways, here, as I said, observe your teammate's body posture, which guns they have, and ask yourself at the start of the rounds, what are my teammates gonna do? Don't focus on knifing the wall, focus on your allies. Your Neon has a Stinger. She's looking hyper aggressively towards this wall right here. What does that mean? That means she's probably gonna play more aggressively on the ramp. And we need to support her from the ramp. Otherwise, this round is cooked. Also, if you save the Outlaw from the second round, in the third round, combine the Outlaw with a Shorty. So you have a Shorty to take the kills in the short range fight if your Outlaw fails. You have more versatility, essentially. And more kill potentials. So how we should have started this round, essentially, I would have played this round behind this spot, dodging the enemy's flashes, Vice flash or whichever flash they want to do, and baiting the shit out of my Neon. I mean, if the Omen does the paranoia, we should just paranoid the enemy's back, and we should support our Neon with the paranoia. End of the story. But I would be ready to fight together with my Neon from the ramp, because she can simply take some kind of a stupid fight with a Stinger, long range fight. I mean, you don't know what a Platinum Gold Neon player is gonna do. Let's be honest. Listen, in the first 4 rounds, never anchor the bomb sites. In low elo and medium elo lobbies. It is not worth it. In the first 4 rounds, on every single map in Valorant, the first gunshot that you hear somewhere, rotate there. Because communication doesn't exist in Valorant. Team play and ranked solo queue doesn't exist. Essentially. Most of the times the comms are gonna be, hey guys, let's push A, let's push B, let's push mid, or there's gonna be no comms at all, and people are just gonna randomly group somewhere together. Like, if the first contact was made on mid, rotate into the vents together with your Neon, get ready to play with your teammates. Period. And we should have the shorty right now. Leave the A set open. Let's finish the fights on mid. Make a numbers advantage. We can retake the A set later. And just tell your teammates that enemies could have had that timing to be anywhere. So we should just clear every corner one by one. Methodically. If you did a faster rotation, so we heard a gunshot right here. 134. Right now, as we are doing the smoke, we should be going inside of the vents. Getting ready to support the Reyna and our teammates on B site. Basically, at this moment here, you should already be inside of the vents, destroying the Fade eye, and supporting your teammates on mid. Basically, we have a Paranoia, 2 shrouded steps, 2 smokes, and you should have the shorty as well. Enemies are peeking out. They're contesting your teammates aggressively. Paranoia. Through enemy smoke, pull out the shorty, ba-ba-ba-bap. Take a kill, we can TP onto the tower, and play with a Reyna and Cypher that are on the tower. And lock down and lock in the B tower area of the map. Just skip this song that is playing right now. I have no idea what's playing, to be honest. Yeah. The Prodigy. You hate the Prodigy, man? Like, what the fuck? And also, you know, like, this is one of these rare occasions where you should have rotated through the vents. Like, anyways, it's a bonus round. We don't know how enemies are gonna play. We don't know how much we can trust our teammates. It is only the 3rd round of the match. We needed to provide faster support for our allies on mid.
Last player standing.
Now, listen. Winning this 2v5 is almost impossible. Like, almost impossible. Like, this is like... You need to be, I don't know, 6 ranks above these players. Like, what we should do in these type of situations early on in a match. Try to damage the enemy's economy as much as you can and save the Vandal for the next round. So, if you end up 1v5 in a 3rd bonus round, you're not trying to win it, you're playing for the exit frags, building up your ultimate, damaging the enemy's economy, so that your team has easier time winning the 4th round. Always. So right now, instead of going onto the B tower, we should do a fast rotation into the sewers and get behind the enemies on mid. And try to go for some exit frags later. They will hear your footsteps towards the A site. They will think that you're just saving the gun. And you have enough time to do this because they still didn't plant the spike. Okay, even better. We can get this no-scope kill. And now, take the gun, rotate towards the A, get into the vents, and try to get more kills.
Planted.
But to be honest, if enemies are pushing you aggressively, even better. We should be using the shrouded steps and Paranoia to outmaneuver the enemies and take easy frags. Like right now, you heard one or two enemies behind you here. What we can do is simply use the shrouded steps. Here, Paranoia the enemies when they're close to you in this long range corridor. Take the kills. 1, 2 kills, go back. Even if you take those 2 kills, I will still not try to win this round because you're probably going to end up low HP. You should go into the vents, do the fast drop, and once again play for the exits. Some rounds in Valorant are simply unwinnable. Like, you need a tremendous amount of luck and tremendous amount of enemies' mistakes in order to win it. Especially early on in a game. One of your main priorities is making sure that your team's economy is blossoming, blooming, essentially, and that you're damaging the enemy's economy as much as possible. Like in this round, if you kill 5 enemies, in the 4th round, enemies are cooked. Like they're playing literally a half buy, a force buy round. And then we win that round. Next round, enemies are playing an eco round. Amazing. Fucking amazing. As I said, don't get too moisty. Don't let your cock get hard when you do something like this. Spike got planted around 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds ago. It is fine. Play for the exits. Isn't one guy on mid, like... He went B mid, okay.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, we can do this as well. Okay, totally fine. Like, totally fine. I mean, you did everything that I wanted you to do, just in a bit different way, essentially. Like, I mean, engaging enemies face on. But a bit better idea would have been to get behind the enemies in the B main. You know, what I would have done here is essentially a fake shroud of steps like this to make the enemies think that I'm on the site, blocking their vision with the smokes, killing both enemies behind in the B main, and saving the Vandal for the next round. That would have been the perfect case scenario. You have the ultimate for the next round. Enemy's economy is shit. The next round is an easy win. Like, you don't need to force yourself to clutch these early rounds. If your chances are below 10%. Like, don't take those chances. Like, later on during a match, you know, like, when the things are getting interesting, like if you're losing 2-7, 3-7, you should try clutching this type of a round, of course. And this is what I was talking about. Like, if we managed to kill this Vise as well, this round would have been a force buy round for the enemies. Like, every enemy in the enemy team would have a light shield. We can just force up the outlaw, take body shot kills. Done, period. Round after that, enemies full eco. Now, because Vice can drop one gun, like... I mean, still buying the Outlaw is worth it. But in this round, I would probably buy the Operator with a light shield and go for an aggressive peek in the A main area of the map, or the aggressive peek from the A ramp, simply because of the enemy's pattern of pushing, and because on split, it is mega easy to get the kills with the Operator. Extremely easy. And buying the Outlaw is a bit of a gamble because Jet can play, like right now, the Judge with a heavy shield. Vice will drop one of her teammates, and essentially 3 of the enemies can have, like, a heavy shield. And why do we play Acet in this round? Basically in ranked solo queue, very, like, early on, you gamble on 3 rules. Number 1 rule, AB rule, on a defender side when you're reading the enemies. Number 2 rule, rule of fear. Number 3 rule, rule of 3 executes. So essentially, these are the rules that you want to combine to have higher chances of reading the enemies in the first 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds, until you notice what type of pattern enemies like to do on a macro and micro level. Then very rarely in ranked solo queue, early on in a match, enemies are going to push the same site 3 rounds in a row, or same area of the map. So they already pushed B and mid 2 times in a row. Chances are 80% that in this round, the hit is going to happen. The first contact between your team and enemy team is going to be on the A site. And what we should have done here is an aggressive peek with the Operator, or a peek from the ramp to take a kill. Like, basically, we should have done a dead zone. I mean, crouch peek with the op, trying to take a kill here. Then we can reposition onto this off angle, try to take another kill, Then from the ramp and tower, maybe trying to get another kill. And then playing together with our teammates. Or we can simply start on tower, but starting on the ramp would be a bit of a gamble because enemy Omen has a paranoia. I don't know if in a gold and platinum lobby, enemies are gonna do this type of an execute. Usually they don't do it. Like, very rarely I would see like someone below Ascendant going for this type of a setup with a Jet and Omen. You can risk it, but the best idea would have been going for a dead zone peek, getting an instant kill onto the enemies with a perfect... You know, I explained this in the ranked playbook and also during our coaching session, how this peek should look like and how you should do it. And also, you know, what we could have done here is Operator, Light Shield, Shorty with all of our utility. We go for the fast. Crouch, dead zone peek, take a frag. We smoke off this, like we did in the first round. Enemies will never expect you playing inside of this smoke if they heard the Operator. They will expect you that you're running onto the site. We play the first round strategy, kill one more enemy, TP into the enemy's Omen smoke, 2 kills in the pocket, even 1 kill more than enough. We made a numbers advantage, now we can play the retake with our teammates. We can maybe keep the ramp control, maybe we can go into the CT to disallow the enemies to take additional, you know, map control here, and then we just get ready for the retake with our allies. Listen, if you see a Vice wall like this, bait it as soon as possible. Like, whenever you see a Vice wall during the retakes, executes, whatever, like, just do this as soon as possible. Especially these type of improvised walls on the attacker side. Like, you don't want this wall to fuck us up later during a retake of A site. Like, you should have done this, so the enemies focus a bit more onto you. We distract the enemies a bit, but also, like, I mean, we need to bait it out.
There's a wall in heaven.
And also, please don't play inside of these smokes in the way that you're playing. And right now, you don't know if enemies are maybe gonna spam through this smoke. Randomly. Who knows? Fuck you, don't you know, you take some cover inside of this smoke. I don't play inside of it. Fuck it, like, you know, you're gonna hear if the enemy Jet updraft dash, if the enemy Omen teleports. Like, we should be baiting this wall and focusing on the ramp, regaining the ramp control with Sage and Neon, and then playing the retake.
Spike planted. Enemy down. Healing.
But if you did what I told you to do in this round, you would have demolished the enemies. Literally demolished. Fast peek in the aim-in, shorty strategy in the smoke, rotation inside of this smoke, going back into the CT, stopping the enemies to get extra space there. Like, you could have gotten 3 kills simply by following this pattern of positioning. And as I told you in the ranked playbook, and maybe during our session, I think we never did a split, but whatever. Like, you want to master playing Operator on split. Such an easy weapon to take 3 kills in the B-main and A-main and mid area of the map early on. If you're peeking the enemies in a proper way, and if you're holding the proper angles. You will never get better at something by not doing that something. You know, maybe you're shit with the Operator right now. But if you don't, like, how do you get good at something? You just practice it. 24/7. Like, you will get punished 100 times doing a peek in the B-main and A-main area of the map. But when you're below Immortal 3, you're willing to get punished. You're willing to die. You're willing to experiment. Like, you're not playing for Radiant. You're not playing for the rank at that point. You're just playing to get better. As you get better, you will reach Immortal 3 easier. By diversifying your playstyle, diversifying the guns that you're using, mastering the agents that you play and outplays and timings. But if you're scared to do them, because of your current rank, because of a fucking Platinum rank, what are you gonna do in Immortal 3? When every match matters, where every round matters, to be honest, for you to reach Radiant. And every play kinda needs to be pixel perfect, like, to be honest. Listen. Here, when your teammates are going for a retake of A site, like, if you already do this paranoia right here for the under and backside, and your teammates from the main see that no one is there, TP here immediately. Like, you want to fight the enemies from the site. From this position, you want to clear these two spots, join up with the Neon and with the Cypher, and be ready to play a refrag game. Because Cypher can take this fight, he is dead. Neon can take this fight, we don't see the enemies deep into the site. Who the fuck cares about my Sage up there? You know? That Sage can stay alive, she can bait the shit out of us, like, plus she has the Operator. You know? Like, you need to focus on these guys, and using them somehow. Like, they're like your drones, essentially, in this elo. Like, you play way too passively this round, like, during this specific retake. Especially when Neon died, instead of taking this fight with the enemies, you should have teleported down to play with a Cypher, and then from the lower ground, peek the enemies and take the fights. Because right now, because of this smoke here, like, what does this smoke tell you? Whenever you see this type of a smoke from the enemies are playing instead of that smoke, chances are like 80%. Okay, great. Enemy Omen is instead of that smoke. Two enemies are there. I TP here. I can kill these enemies from this angle with a Sage. Instantly focus onto the smoke with a Shorty. Close out the round. But we lost this round at the start. Like, this passive positioning is rarely gonna work on split. Like, on split, if you're playing like a passive potato on the defender's side, you will never have a good time on defense. Never. Like, it is the map designed to favor the defender side players. Every choke point is very easy to defend. Every choke point is very easy for defender side players to fuck up the enemies. You should be using that into your advantage. Now in this round, okay, we can start on A set again. Because number one, we have no idea what enemies are gonna do. It is our default site anyways. And number two, when you have the Omen's ultimate, no matter where you start, it's okay. Like, you can fill in the positions, or you can gamble a bit more and use your ultimate as a tool for fast rotations. So basically, like, when you have the Omen Salt in rank solo queue, like, sure, I mean, you can start on A, even if you think that enemies are gonna go B. Gamble a bit more, but be ready to press that X button ASAP. X button. Even though this is a bonus eco Halberd round, fuck it. You need to rotate. Like, the only info we have in this match is the following. Enemies are playing together as 5. They are committing to their executes. Info number 2. Our teammates are not really the brightest tool in the shed. They're not really the best, as we could have seen from the previous 2 rounds. And also, in the 3rd round, it was like, you know, interesting. We need to control the outcome of the rounds. In the worst case scenario, enemies are gonna rotate on A. We're gonna play a 4v5 retake. In the worst case, which is a okay case scenario. You know, if you do the ultimate. If you don't do the ultimate, in the best case scenario, we're gonna be like a 2 versus 5. they're doing a retake with a Bucky. Not fun. Not fun at all. So right now, you should be using your ultimate at the backside so we can safely teleport using this smoke and this smoke to obstruct the enemy's vision. We can play instead of this position. Enemies are going out, we can paranoid them, TP behind them, take a kill. Or simply on timing, we can peek onto the enemies, play like a kamikaze, and try to trade ourselves for as many kills as possible before our teammates start dying. God help us now.
Cover going out.
This is magic. Like, what happened to you right now is magical, and only God helped you right now. Only God. Like, it is magical that 3 of your teammates are still alive while you did this rotation. Now listen, like, even if your teammates are flanking, lurking behind the enemies, use the smokes for them as well. You use the smokes for them as well. Like, you know, if your Neon with a Stinger is fighting the enemies from behind, here, do some improvised smoke like this. This smoke might allow the Neon to take some close range fights and close range kills, might support and help your Neon out, and also it might waste some of the enemy's abilities for the future execute. But if you just let your Neon with a Stinger take this type of a fight without any utility, well, most of the times the guy is just gonna die. And most of the time. This smoke is too deep. No. Like, basically, a default smoke to stop the enemy's push into the B site is this smoke or this smoke right here. The one way for the B main.
Spike planted.
No, why reload, bro? Like, this was really good from you. Like, really good from you. Very good that you went towards the Neon to support her, because we already have a smoke for the B main. Enemies, you know, stopped their push. They started rotating back. Very good. This first kill.
Spike planted.
Muy bien. Second peek, not really the best. Like, what you really want to do with the shotguns when you're fighting the enemies this close, I always peek them with a jump spot, you know, by jumping. Like, do this essentially. That's how we should have killed the Fade. Jet is close. Pull out the Paranoia and run her down. When the Jet was here, brother, you're using a Bucky. Like, you're reloading one bullet at a time. You should have reloaded only one bullet, drop a Paranoia onto the Jet. She's dead. I mean, if the enemies are already so close, you really don't have a timing to use the smokes, essentially. But if you have a Paranoia and throw the steps, do you need anything else to take this kill? Not really.
Player standing. Spike planted.
But there is one thing that we need to take as a note from this round. Like, every round is a learning round for you to counter the enemies and to have higher chances of winning the rounds and matches. Enemy Omen did a super fast rotation from B to A, and he actually planted the spike on the A side. They didn't plant the spike on B. So from now on, we need to expect the enemies to do this when we delay and stop their push in the choke points. Once again, starting on the A site, absolutely fine, as long as we have the ultimate, but you have one problem. What is the problem? Two of your teammates on mid look mega aggressive. Support them with a smoke. Give them some smoke as a cover, immediately. You know, it's totally fine. Give them the one way here, give them the one way here, or give them a deep smoke like this. It is absolutely fine. Like in this low elo, you don't want to let your teammates take early 50-50 fights where you're not there with them. Like only God knows what Neon is gonna do and what Reyna is gonna do right now. And I don't think it's gonna be good. I mean, you're just gambling, essentially. Very good that you're starting on the ramp. No problemo. We can do this. Especially because we never aggress the enemies from the ramp. Maybe with the paranoia we can try to kill them if they're going through the aiming area of the map. Plus, when you think that your teammates are going to play a bit more aggressive on mid, it is good to start on the ramp, because from the ramp you can always support them with a Paranoimus Rex. No matter where they're fighting the enemies at that moment of time on mid. Okay, remember that when you're slow peeking the ramp, you never have the better timing than enemies. Like, while you're doing this, an enemy could have already crossed to this angle. So if you're going for the slow ramp peek, like this, jiggle peek this, jiggle peek everything, and then go back to this angle. But even then, there is a chance that one enemy might have done this, and you simply lost him on timing. So be aware of that timing. Do you get ranked charms after the first act or the full episode? Full episode.
Cover going out.
Ultimate, brother. Like right now, you saw the fade eye, everything. Fuck it. Even if the enemy Omen. Actually, okay, in this round, because we're playing a full buy, and your teammates have the full setup on B, it's okay that you're not rotating yet. But if even one of your teammates dies, unfortunately, that is the trigger that tells you to rotate. We are trusting our teammates a bit here. Plus, we have the full mid open and the B tower. But it is okay for this scenario. Because you have the full, Cypher and Sage setup, like, they should at least delay the enemies a bit, if nothing else. It's okay, it's good. Just what you should have done in this example, you should have taken more space to surprise the enemies. You know? Like, if you already know that the enemy's main playstyle is, hey guys, let's do a 5-man push onto the B side, let's do a 5-man push onto the mid, let's do a 5-man push onto the A side. If you already get that info from the first 4 to 5 rounds, take more space from the enemies, especially on a map such as Split. Like right now, you should have got onto this off angle, or maybe all the way into the spawn, and basically jiggle peeking these two positions. You know, checking your back, checking this. Done. Maybe you could have got into the sewers as well. But in these type of examples, you want to take more space. Especially with Omen. I mean, you have the smokes, paranoia, 2 shrouded steps, and the ultimate. No matter in how fucked up of a scenario you end up, you always have an escape tool. What rank is this? Platinum MMR, Platinum Elo. Very fucking good. But we have a problem. We should not be teleporting onto this site. We should not have teleported onto the site. Whenever you're 4 versus 4 in Valorant, you primarily want to play with a teammate that is alone. Right now, your Reyna is going for the same goddamn play that Reyna and Neon did already 3 times during this match. I guarantee you that your Reyna has higher chances of dying than your Sage and Cypher at this moment. We should have teleported behind this box on mid and play with the Reyna behind the enemies.
Watch them run.
I mean, plus these guys, like, have the full setup. In the worst case scenario, like, you know, they're gonna trade each other's, essentially. Also, one more problem. Listen, if you teleport, when you're using the Omen teleport, to reconnect with your teammates, always use it somewhere safe. Like don't teleport here. Like, use it where you can commit to the teleport. Where the enemies cannot, like, spam you. Where the enemies cannot, like, destroy your, like, shadow in any way. Like, you should have teleported maybe on top of the rafters, for an example. Or at the backside, on the actual side here. Or at the backside here. But teleporting behind this box, Now, listen, whenever enemies know that you're behind this box, you need to do two things. Either use the fake Shrouded Steps to make the enemies think that you scooted away, or really use the Shrouded Steps to get the fuck out. Like, you need to do this, or you need to see you later, take this off angle and try to fight the enemies from this spot. Picking the enemies from this spot is just a suicide right now. Box fully spammable. We don't know how many enemies are here. We don't need to take this fight. Plus, we have the Reyna on the lurk and flank. As long as we stay alive, maybe that Reyna can do something. Listen, if you know that enemies are not in this part of the B main, so enemies are not here, instead of this deep smoke, do the one way. I do the smoke like this. Because in low elo, players just, their brains don't work. You know, they don't understand that this is a one way. And you can simply hold this angle. If the enemies are peeking you through the smoke there, no problemo. You're always in an advantage. You always see them before they see you. You can flick, take a kill. If enemies disrespect this smoke and they go from there to there, easy kill, that's it. Plus, this, like, conditioning enemies with this smoke is very important with Omen. Because this smoke, not only that you can use for the passive plays, to bait out the enemy's utility to take a kill, you know, with this one way, but also in the eco rounds and bonus rounds. When you think enemies are gonna push B side, we can use this smoke to get into this corner and then just pop out, taking like 1, 2, 3 kills for free.
Cover going out.
But as I said, ultimately in this round, it was much more important for you to play with the Reyna. Because enemies already realized, you know, what your teammates are doing. They're way too repetitive. And essentially have a Cypher and Sage on the site. In the worst case scenario, they're gonna trade for 1 kill. I don't know. You know, they have the full setup. They should be able to do that. But that Reyna playing alone behind the enemies, like, she's a really good playmaker. I mean, like, really good ally that we can use to win this round. Because enemies never saw you go behind them. They only saw the Reyna and Neon. So when the enemies kill Reyna, maybe, they're not gonna expect you there as well. Or when once they take a fight. Now remember, if you whenever you end up okay, just a moment. So whenever you end up 2 versus 2, 3 versus 2, you have numbers. 3 versus 3. You have a numbers advantage. True numbers advantage. What is a true numbers advantage? Like 5v3, 5v2, 5v1, 4v3, 4v2, 4v1, 3v2, 3v1, 2v1. So when these numbers are present on the map, fuck the map control. Fuck the spike control. Fuck Mark Zuckerberg. Fuck everything. Everyone. You know? Your main focus is playing with your teammates. Period. Like, let the enemies. Like, that is your best win condition in low elo. Because this 2v2 can easily turn into a 1v2. Retake on the A site. I don't care if the enemies are gonna plant the spike on B or A. All I care about right now is that this Cypher doesn't die alone, and I'm ready to support him at any moment of time. And to use his life to win this round. That is a much consistent way of playing Valorant and grinding Valorant rather than trusting your teammates with solo plays. Sometimes you need to do it. Sometimes it is good to do it. But that is only 20% of times. And I don't think that at this level of gameplay you understand when that is good to do.
One enemy remaining. Spike down mid. Last
I mean, especially, you know, you kind of know how the enemies like to play. No? Didn't we already establish the enemy's macro playstyle? Whenever we stop the enemy's push in some choke point, they always go back. Always go back. Based on that knowledge, we should have teleported on B tower, slowly scoot towards the Cypher, keep our location a secret. Enemies don't know if I'm B site tower or A site, they know nothing. Play with the Cypheroni, win the rounderoni.
standing.
In low elo, the more you simplify your gameplay, the more you abuse refrag potential and your teammates as a drone, the more you abuse the cheesy strategies, cheesy weapons, variety of weapons, and the strengths and weaknesses of a map, your grind from Iron 1 to Ascendant 1 is gonna be like this. Then in Ascendant 1 to Immortal 2, you need to change your gameplay a bit by adjusting your gameplay with like certain rules. But even Ascendant 1 to Immortal 2 is like, Immortal 3 is like whatever. And then Immortal 3 to Radiant is like literally hell of a time, and you know, then you need to really change everything in your gameplay. Not everything, but 50% of your gameplay. Now, to be honest, like, in these type of scenarios, one thing that I would recommend you is do a gamble. You know, do a full-on gamble. For an example, right now, I would not rotate A, but I would also not stay on the B side. Where I would play is inside of this male right here. And I would do a gamble. If she plants the spike on A, okay, I'm ready to be a bit faster on the retake. Plus, I can fake her. You know, basically, we can go onto the tower, go onto the ramp, do this type of a smoke in combination with this one way. She is gonna think that we're coming through CT or through the tower. And then we can pop through this smoke and clear everything. If she plants the spike on B, we're already really close to the B site. We can simply, you can already go for some outplay and then predict where she is at that moment of time.
30 seconds left.
I mean, if the Cypher hurts her rotating A, I don't know, like, it's okay. We can also play Vents, it's okay. Play is like, you know, learn the silent drop with the ropes is gonna save you a lot of the time and, you know, a lot of the hustle. Hold the shift. At the end of the ropes, press the button and that's it. And through the whole, like, I don't know how to explain it better. Like, hold the shift, attach yourself almost at the end here, and then with the shift, go down as well. Throughout this whole motion, you're simply holding the shift, pressing the E button. Like, the hardest part of this is hitting the right timing to press the E button to attach yourself to the rope. Then with the shift, simply go down with the W or S key, and that's how you save the time. It saves you like, I mean, 1.5, 2 seconds. I don't know, like how much do you need for this? Like 1, 2, basically 1.5, 1 second. Like which might be significant. I don't know, like this jet is running for the plant. And as I said, in these 1v1s, try to be sneaky beaky like. Try to be sneaky beaky like. Like, always try to condition enemies with Omen to think in a specific direction. And do the opposite. Like here, we have a smoke, we have a paranoia. And what we can do is, for an example, we can do a smoke here. And instead of teleporting, instead of this smoke, let's teleport in the main. For an example. Or, even better, we can do a smoke here. Deep into the elbow. Teleport in main. And just hold this angle. Like 90% of times, that enemy will outmaneuver himself. In low elo lobbies. He's gonna be under pressure. Oh, the guy probably teleported into that elbow smoke. I'm gonna try to go for some outplay. You know, I'm gonna try to do this, go into the main, go into the tower, or something like some shit like that. Play with the enemy's mind. Or go through the ramp, do the paranoia onto the jet from the ramp, and then do this smoke in combination with a one-way here. For an example, 90% of the times enemies in low elo are gonna think that you're coming through the CT or through the tower. We can simply clear these angles, and you have much higher chances of winning this round, essentially. Can you show us why Wooting have advantages over other in Valorant? Every Hall effect keyboard is good. You know, Wooting is just the premium shit. Like, I don't know, the quality feels different. Like, I've tested 3 other, like, keyboards similar to Wooting. Quality is not there. And when it comes to regular mechanical keyboard and Wooting, like, response time is just unreal. Like, unreal. Like, literally, if you compare, like, Wooting to Red Dragon K mechanical keyboards, or to a regular Razer mechanical, or I don't know, like G603 from Logitech. I think that is the name of the keyboard. Day and night. Like, you need to try it to feel it. Like, basically, it doesn't get better than this. There are probably some cheaper Hall effect keyboards that are equally good, but I don't like the quality of these cheaper keyboards.
Spike planted.
And another really good idea in this clutch would have been the following. So you know that the enemy jet planted the spike here. Okay, let's lock in the jet and let's play with her mind. We use this smoke so she cannot rotate and peek us from the right side. Then we use a fake teleport and lock onto this angle. 90% of times, if an enemy is stuck there, he is gonna peek you from elbow. Because of this teleport, Jet is gonna think that you teleported maybe into the smoke, maybe there, maybe here. Like, these guys are deaf. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Hold this angle. Like, during the retakes, especially if you're close to the site while the enemies are planting the spike, just let the enemies outplay themselves. Very rarely these players are just gonna hold the site and play patiently. They will try to fight for more space. Let them just kill themselves, essentially, in-game. Okay. Economy not looking good. I mean, this round should have been a half buy round for us. I don't know why you forced your teammates to full buy. You know, in this round we should have bought like a judge with a light shield and utility and tried to outplay the enemies. And in this round, it is totally fine that you're playing on the B side, because enemies were much more focused on B. rather than A in the previous few rounds. And in this round, what I will try is actually the aggressive play that we talked about. You know, with the judge just playing instead of this one-way smoke here. But as I said, like, it is fine that he started on the B tower. Like, I mean, enemies were much more focused during this match on mid and B. Like, whenever you notice that enemies are super focused on one area of the map and your teammates are consistently losing that area of the map, play it. But the main problem of yours on the defender side is just better team play. Like, you need to focus more on what your teammates are doing. Like, Split is really that type of a map where team play is everything. And especially when you're playing Omen, you're just acting like a babysitter 24/7. Nothing else. Here, once again, because of your Reyna's positioning, we need to have the one-way from mid. Papito, when can we get some CS2 content from you? I'm kinda lagging with my Valorant content a lot. Like, during March, I need to do the 2 more episodes of Chamber to Radiant series, the final episode of Race to Immortal, final episode of Yoru to Immortal, the full optimization guide for Valorant that is like 40 minutes long. I need to do another How to Win on Every Map video. Tomorrow I'm making the Valet guide for every single map in Valorant. And I need to do a new Ultimate Agents tier list, how to find your main agent. I need to do the sensitivity guide during March and April. And I need to start the Valet to Immortal series. So, and also I have like three more free VOD reviews to complete. Plus, on top of that, I need to finish the playbooks for Chamber, Yoru, and Race. Like, literally, I'm stuck with Valorant content a lot. You know? Because I'm lagging a lot. Once I do all of this, and once I complete everything that I need to complete, then I'm gonna start with the CS2 and Marvel Rivals. I just don't have time right now. Like, also, you know, during the weekends, I coach for 16 hours. You know, 8 hours on Sunday, 8 hours on Saturday. You know, these days I only have students during the weekends. But there's a huge... I'm thinking to maybe get more space for private coaching as well. Because there's a lot of players that are on the waiting list. So I'm just thinking to go back to the full-time coaching again. Like, every day one coaching session and that's it. I don't want people to wait that much. Because the waiting time right now is like around a month and a half.
Cover going out.
Listen, man, like, considering what what type of bullshit our teammates did in previous rounds, I would advise you, like, if your teammates are taking this type of fights on mid, do the one-way smoke. You know, like, and try to support them. Like, for example, one easy, like, what you can do on mid when you're playing Omen, if your teammates are starting in the vents and enemies are never smoking the vents, we can simply do a one-way here or here and simply isolate one of these angles with your allies. You know, enemies cannot peek us from there. I mean, we have the advantage. Your Reyna takes a fight. Easy kill. We want to fight more, no problem. We can maybe go for some outplay as well at the end of the duration of this smoke. But you're letting them down fight. I don't know, you're trusting this Reyna a lot. And Neon as well.
Cover going out.
Now, this smoke on mid, you know, every Omen smoke on mid is terrible. Like, I mean, this smoke here, like, you can never make it fully precise. Basically, this smoke, and this smoke are much better to take the full mid control. This smoke will always have some gaps. But you should try to make it look like this. You know, this is how the mid smoke needs to look like if you're playing Omen, essentially. And also, I don't know why you were playing so aggressively at the start here. I mean, you were alone before the Cypher came, obviously. So we should have played a bit more passively here. Like, you know, we should have covered this angle with a jiggle P here if you already don't want to fight. And then when the Cypher comes, we go with him.
Camera taken out.
Not sure if you answered this, but do you think Jet Vele combo can be good duo? Absolutely. I mean, two dive agents. Jet can support the Vele with the smokes. We can dash into the same smoke. And then from the same smoke pop out and take the kills. Basically, Jet Vele combo is going to be really good. Mega good. Essentially, Jet supports Vele, Vele supports Jet. Also, Vele and Omen combo is really good as well. If you're playing Omen in a bit more aggressive way.
Shadows traveling.
For you.
I've never seen these Omen smokes in my life, so I don't know what to expect. Simply said, if you see these type of smokes, expect anything from the enemy Omen. Like, this is crazy shit. Expect him to be in any of these smokes, behind any cover, like, be ready just.
Found my wire. Found my wire.
One enemy remaining. Long.
Okay. Okay. We need to speed up a bit, man. Like, it's already been 1.5 hours of this VOD review. 1 hour and 45 minutes. Like, we're 7 rounds in, bro. Okay, just remember one thing. Whenever in these elos, whenever you fully fuck up the enemies and win the round somewhere, such as in this example, we fully annihilated the enemy's push on the B site. Instantly apply the rule of fear. Instantly. No second thoughts, nothing. Unless you can read the enemies based on their economy and ultimate status, which on Split we cannot do, essentially. I mean, on Split we have the rule where whenever enemies are bonus, eco or hull buy, on the attacker side, you should always start on B tower and defend mid, tower, and B. But in this round, they're still full buy. Apply the rule of fear. We should be playing A side right now, not the mid. Or what you can do, start in the vents, so you can play fast rotations between B and A. Enemies are pushing mid. They are splitting B side, no problemo. Okay, let's fight the enemies now from the tower, and let's help our teammates on B. Enemies are pushing A, no problemo. I'm there, you know, ready to support my allies with paranoia smokes everything. My body as well.
Shadows traveling.
Are you tired of coaching? Absolutely not. That's the only reason why I still make content in Valorant. Only reason. Like, I have a lot of fun coaching players and doing this part of the job. Like, it is so much fun that it overrides all of the negatives of playing fucking ranked solo queue for me. Otherwise, if this was not fun, and I'm tired from coaching, I'll be playing CS2 and Marvel Rivals 24/7.
Smoking? One mid, one mid,
Camera is
careful.
destroyed.
Cover going out.
Listen here. When you heard the enemies pushing the A site, very good smoke.
Shadows traveling.
Now,
Smoking?
instant rotation.
One mid,
Camera is
careful.
destroyed.
Very good that you came back to support the Cypher. But now, when the Reyna scooted away, we have two options. Option number one. We can play together with our Reyna. Reyna, don't go CT. Come with me. Let's kill the enemy Reyna. Your teammates in ranked solo queue are gonna be more than happy to take a fight. Most of the time. Option number two. Fuck the enemy Reyna. ignore her, play on the information that you have. Enemies are pushing A site.
Cover going out.
Can't wait to see the small PP gorilla in CS2. I played like 20 matches of Face It, and in 20 Face It games we have an 80% win rate and I got 500 elo. I mean, like, I'm gonna get Face It level 10 in less than 60 matches. But I don't have time to play it.
Reloading.
We need to rotate. What you did here was an okay play. Using your Reyna's footsteps to bait the enemies. This was not a bad play. I would also maybe think that if one enemy is here, they're definitely not gonna expect us in this position. And anyways, we have 3 teammates on A set, so it's fine. But here, where you saw the enemy Reyna Lear in the Amen area of the map, we're backing off on A site. We need to support these idiots. Plus this.
Your duty is not over. Reloading.
Go, 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 go!
Spike down A.
Shadow.
That smoke, terrible. Not good. You know? Not good. Like, if enemies already cross this line, multiple enemies, like 2 or more, this smoke doesn't do anything. Like, just cover the aim and choke point, and cover this if you don't have the ramp control. Or cover this if you want to keep the ramp control.
Traveling.
Enemy spotted A. Cutting their vision.
Blinding.
One enemy remaining.
Okay, Omen died. We know where is the fade. Very nice. This is just a recommendation. I don't want to be like, I know more than you. But maybe you could do like a class. You're the teacher and have many students in one class so you can make more money and cheaper for. I cannot do that. Because my coaching doesn't work same as coaching from someone such as Trick, Wuhujin and stuff like that. Like, my coaching is 50% of times, 60% of times different for everyone. Like, everyone has different problems, different lives, different, like, everything. So, I cannot do that. You know? Like, that is why I have the ranked playbook on my Discord server. That is why I have our free YouTube videos. And that is why I have the exclusive coaching videos as well. If you want the general coaching and general understanding of the game, you just get those and that's it. But, I don't know, I like to invest myself into a player that I coach. But really invest. And that's why I offer so many of these, like, lifetime supports, like. It's really hard to improve the bunch of players in the same time. In a group. Like, group teaching is not my thing, to be honest.
We're doing fine. Yeah.
I just don't like that I don't have a personal connection with the student, you know? If I have like 20 players in a Discord call, I mean, I don't care about any of them. Literally. Like, I'm just gonna teach what I have to teach. Like I'm in a high school, you know? And that's it. Take your money, see you later. You didn't improve, I don't care. I don't know, basically it's just a bad practice, like I don't like it.
Get out of my way.
But I would definitely make more money, like that's for sure, like.
Cover going out. Shadows traveling.
Mid. They're rotating. I hear a lot mid.
Listen, when you're playing Omen and you're defending the mid area of the map in B tower, try to avoid playing this one and done angle. Especially especially if you have a paranoia. I know that we lost the numbers. I know that we're -1 right now. But they have a Fade Dog, Fade Reveal, Fade Seize, Vice Flash. I mean, they don't have a Vice Flash because they used it, but think about it. Omen Paranoia, 2 Reyna Flashes. Maybe in this elo, they're not gonna do that onto you. But you need to pre-assume that they will do it to take the B tower control. Just so that you're ready for a higher elo lobbies later. It's good to keep practicing good plays and good habits. Because if your bad plays are working, then you will think that a bad play is a good play. And a bad play is never a good play. Period. Like, a bad play that worked is still a fucking bad play that worked for some reason in that round. Statistically speaking, it doesn't make sense. So right now, you know, we should just be jiggle picking this angle or trying to take the first kill, you know, onto the enemies here. And if the enemies want to push us, no problem. Let's paranoid them. Let's take the kills here. Get back with a few kills. Let's split them apart. Do a smoke. Enemies push into the mail. Flash. Take the kills. You have a shorty as a secondary weapon. Maybe we can go for more outplays. But playing this one and done angle, when you already have like smoke that is almost recharged, paranoia and 2 shrouded steps, I mean, come on, man. You know, not the best idea. Yo, Voodoo! Brother, I was watching your stream today with a mice key. That last game was so nice. With that Reyna. Coaching is your main source of income. Yeah, for the last, like, 4.5 years. Like, I started doing this in June 2020, basically. And I am truly thankful to one girl that persuaded me to do this type of shit. Like, this was never my plan. My plan was actually to make a content such as, I don't know, like, what Horkus is making, or like, what some of these other channels are making. But this is the best shit ever, to be honest. Like, I'm really grateful. Because I don't need to worry about the YouTube views, about the subs, about anything. As long as I'm coaching players, like, I can keep doing this, like, forever, literally. Which is not something I want to do forever, like, you know, I'm gonna... At some point, I would like to stop doing this, like, obviously. You got lucky a bit here, that your Cypher came to support you. Just remember that. But even though you had a Cypher support, I mean, if you have the Omen Paranoia, you know that enemies are close to you. Try to split them apart, try to use the Paranoia first and then go for the kills. It makes me happy that you're successful with it. I saw recently, like, you're getting more viewers on streams, right? Is it some TikTok boost? Like, what happened, man? One more thing. Do you know that you can apply on Twitch to be on a front page every month? That's something that you can really use, because you're really entertaining on your streams. You know, you have more energy than me, essentially. Like, that can be mega useful for you. Being on a front page for one time in a month, because you can gain a lot of new people during that one stream only. Is there any students you still follow? I don't understand. What?
And their life, not yours.
Okay, listen. So what is the main mistake? What is the main mistake we're making on a defender side right now? We're playing way too passively. Like, we're giving the enemies mid control. We're giving the enemies B main control. Sometimes we're also giving the enemies the A main control. If you want to have higher success rate on split. You need to play semi-aggressive this map. You don't need to die fighting the enemies, but we need to deny some space, some utility from the enemy team. Also, what is mega powerful in this like low elo, medium elo, dead zoning enemies in A main and B main areas of the map. Especially with the operator. You can get so many free kills if you dial that into your gameplay. I know that you have a Cypher on the B side, but every round enemies somehow like pull the rotation of your teammates, they die on that rotation, and almost every round enemies are pushing B. Except when we win that round and then they turn the focus on A side. Like in this round as well, like there's a huge chance enemies will go B again. Let at least gather the info. You know, when you do this, like you dead zone this angle. I'm gonna show you right now in the game just to come back. Like when you dead zone that angle, it doesn't matter if you get a kill or not. You get the info. You apply the pressure. Now you know none of the enemies are here. I can rotate fast onto B tower, support my teammates there. No one is mid. Okay, I can rotate on A, support my teammates on A. Enemies placed in this match, easily readable for you. Easily. Fireman executes, fireman pushes. If the push doesn't work, they just go back. That's it. 2-3 steps they do every single round. Think about it. You have a training for that as well. Like I shared it with you when we did our regular part of the coaching. Like, but you didn't do the training because of the playtime, and I know. I understand. You see, again, like, we just sold that B main area of the map for nothing. That cannot happen on split. It simply cannot happen on this map. Because this map, on this map, every choke point works in a favor of a defender side players. Every choke point. Like, split, ascent, bind, split, ascent, bind, fracture, pearl. Like on these 5 maps, playing super passively is never worth it. I mean, generally on all of the maps, playing super passively depends on, you know, team compositions, what's happening during a match. But especially on these 5 maps, you need to have a semi-aggressive playstyle, which you're willing to do alone as well. Like, okay, we think enemies are gonna go B. Start the round here, do a diagonal peek with W and D keys. Did you risk anything? No. Can this bullet kill an enemy? Abso-fucking-lutely. If enemies are doing a 5-man push here, this one bullet has 20% of chances to give you a kill. Because they're gonna be, you know, tucked here, like trying to go in all together like monkeys in low elo and medium elo lobbies. You can take a kill. But even if you don't take a kill, no problem. We got the early info. We can do the one-way smoke here as we're falling back. Now take a kill from this off angle. We take a kill. Now we can get maybe on this off angle. Play the edge. Wait for the smoke to disappear. One bullet, burst fire, drop down, reposition. You're losing that opportunity to fuck up the enemies. By the operator. Don't be a... like... You will die 100 times doing this type of a peek. 100 times. 101st time is gonna be natural for you. And you'll get it. You will start to understand how to do it. And once you practice something for 100 times, at some point it just becomes natural for you. You start understanding the mechanics of it, how to actually, like, you need to be punished more. Can you do this one with a Clove? I think so.
Cover going up.
I think the only agent on which you cannot do it is Astra. But maybe if you put the smoke a bit further on the right. Because Astra smokes are huge. And once again, like, we're literally playing the same round. Enemies are pushing the B side. Our Reyna is gonna push behind the enemies. Either Reyna or Cypher are gonna die. If Cypher dies, enemies take the B side. If Reyna dies, they're gonna rotate A. We need to be more proactive than this. Like, we cannot just... You know? They cannot just like we cannot just let them take this for free. I feel the whole game changes after Ascendant. True and not true. Basically, there are 3 breaking points in Valorant. 3. First breaking point, Ascendant 1. That is where you need to change your gameplay for 20 to 30%. 20-30% of stuff that we were doing in lower lobbies, we need to change. Immortal 3, the bottom rank rating. You need to change your gameplay once again for 20 to 30%. And then you have like Immortal 3, 400 rank rating. Once again, you need to change your gameplay for 20 to 30%. That is why buying coaching as a one-time thing is just absolutely fucking stupid. Most of the time. Unless you just want to some general guidance or, I don't know, like general things that you can work on. You need to be there for the player. Listen, man, like, you're playing Omen. If you can dodge the Vi's ultimate, play the round with a gun, and regroup with your teammates fast, do it. You know? Here you could have teleported into that corner, dodge the ultimate, you're ready to support your teammates on site. I don't know why you got ulted for no reason. My brother, like, listen. So you heard the Vi's using the ultimate on B. They used an AoE ultimate to execute a site. What should be your main focus here? Minimap. You still have a paranoia. You know, the Vi's didn't take the abilities from you. Just the gun. I mean, the main gun. That's why you should always keep the shorty as a primary, secondary weapon. We talked about this during our coaching millions of times. Whatever. So, enemies are pushing B set right now. You got Vi's ulted. For no reason. Your main focus should be that paranoia, supporting your teammates on site. Anyways. The ultimate play in this round would have been to teleport into this corner, dodge the ultimate, clear the mid fast, and then instantly be ready to support our teammates on site with a Vandal. And with a paranoia. I don't know why you over-focus in this mid area of the map. With no info. What? How? You see, Cypher... Not bad, man. Not bad, actually. I was like, how the Cypher has a Phantom, man. Like, he actually dodged it in the CT. Just a bottom line of your gameplay on the defender's side. You need to focus more on what your teammates are doing. And supporting a bit better on split. Applying the semi-aggressive playstyle, variety of weapons, you'll be totally fine. Here for an example, Cypher is pushing forward. What should we do? Drop a paranoia onto the enemies here. But I'm gonna flash the Reyna. Who the fuck cares about the Reyna? Reyna is not even close to peek the enemies. Cypher is peeking them through 2 slow orbs. Your Cypher is peeking the enemies. Most of the times, in the lobbies between Iron 1 and Immortal 2, it's not really about outplaying the enemies. It is more like protecting your teammates from themselves and using your teammates to kill the enemies. And setting up your teammates for the plays. And listen, feel free to flash your teammates if it is for the greater good. Both teammates and your enemies. The greater good can be supporting your most aggressive ally, supporting yourself to take the kills instead of your ally, or preventing your teammates from dying. This was the greater good. You should have played with a Cypher, not with a Reyna.
Reload.
Let's go. Careful.
Cover going out.
Now listen, if you're at the back of the B site and enemies are pushing B, just jump spot the enemies from the site here and play with the paranoia. And there's no reason to engage them, like, you know, in a clean fight. But the problem here is the Omen's ultimate. Like, I mean, we completely fucked up this round again, like, with poor team play. This was the... Like, you need to think more about supporting these guys in your team. Like, you need to think about it. Otherwise, you're going to have a really bad time on a defender's side. And on attack as well.
Shadows traveling.
Okay, so the enemy Vise was in the B main. We need to expect that Vise coming from behind us, coming through the vents, and coming through the A main. We're 3 versus 2. In this type of a scenario, you want to pinpoint and play with one. You just want to make sure that at least 2 players are playing together. That's what you want to make sure. And that's it. So right now, Reyna and Sage are playing together. We can play alone. Right now, you need to take the CT control. You can take it with the paranoia. And leave the Jet, Reyna and Sage to Jesus Christ. Very good game decision. We need to be careful here. Remember that whenever enemies are in the post plant, especially if they're in the numbers disadvantage, expect the aggressive push. Clear every angle by jump spotting it, jiggle peeking it. Even if you need, use utility also. Like for example here, we can also use the paranoia once we clear this initial angle right here.
Enemy spotted A.
Still in sight.
One hell.
Whenever you're retaking the any site in Valorant, the speed of your retake should always depend on once again your most aggressive teammate, essentially. Like if your Reyna is already on the rafters and she's dropping down, you have no time for this. Like, basically, once you cleared this close angle on the left side, you're out. Like, you know, you're sending the Paranoimus Rex for these initial angles and elbow, clearing this position, clearing the smoke by going in sideways, or if you had a shorty by doing this, then we can clear this part of the smoke, and then we're going out together with the Reyna. You need to speed up.
Sight.
The speed of your retakes always depends on the speed of your allies. Unless you're the one leading the charge.
Enemy spotted. Still in sight.
And anyways, I mean, you saw this Omen on the minimap, you could have flashed him back. I mean, you knew that the Omen is alone on the site. Who else is gonna be here? Like, I told you, Vise can either be behind us, in the vents, or in the A main.
Spotted A.
You took a lot of time from for this retake, like you had all of the info that you needed.
Still in sight.
One hell.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
God help us.
Last player standing.
Just carry the shorty, man. You know, like, I don't want to talk about these fights because, as I said multiple times throughout this VOD review, this guy has an aim training, the whole fucking training that he needs to do, and he didn't do it. He simply didn't do it. Or not enough, essentially. But in Valorant, you really want to fight smart, not hard. Always. Like, if you know that Omen is close to you. I mean, generally on split, you're playing a full buy round. You have money to buy a shorty. Buy the shorty. Period. With a Vandal. You know that that enemy, Omen, is close. Pull out the shorty, bop, to get him out. Get him out with the server. But in this round, we made so many micro mistakes that what we did at the end, you know, that duel doesn't matter at all. If we take a look at the bigger picture. Once again, your teammates are actually fixing the problem on the map. Actually. So this time, our teammates are playing more aggressive, finally. We're taking the space in A-main, taking the space in B-main as well. We need to support someone with our utility. Like, when your teammates are playing this aggro, one smoke needs to fly from your hands. Instantly. Either the smoke for A-main, or the smoke for the B-main. I would do the smoke for the A-main, because our Sage is probably gonna just do the wall, and that's it. But if our Reyna and Neon peek the A-main, God help us. Actually, never mind. I mean, like, she just bought the Marshall. I didn't see that.
Shadows traveling.
Feel free to rotate fast. Actually, okay, once again, same scenario that we played throughout this whole match. Two of our teammates are on site. Enemies have a smoke that is delaying their push. Our Reyna is going behind the enemies. Who should we play with? With the Reyna.
Face your fear!
The hunt begins.
You know, you have the full Cypher setup on B site. Cypher proved to be a trustworthy teammate. I still don't trust this Reyna at all. I don't know. We'll see.
Cover going out.
No, enemies. Our Neon name is Male Kitten, bro. The fat can... Brother, you're losing a match against the fat can man. Think about it.
Down B. One enemy remaining.
Okay.
Found in.
Rule of fear. Immediately. As soon as you punish the enemies, like this, rule of fear. And rule of fear it is.
Cover going out.
Take this.
Jet ground.
Enemy A.
Stay in sight.
Reloading. Enemy A.
Just be really careful when you're fighting the enemies around this default smoke. Like, there is always a gap on the left and right. Like, enemies can always see you on rafters through this. Not always, but depends how you place the smoke. You know? Like, be aware of this gap and this gap. Just be ready for those two fights. Because how you place this smoke, enemies can actually pop their heads here and see you while you're going down the ramp.
Reloading.
I'm out of here.
No, the CT, bro, like, enemies are rotating through the sewers. Our Cypher is going mid. Who is gonna be the first contact man?
Go, go, go.
Rotate. Like, listen. In this type of scenarios, like, you're 4v3. Fuck the map control, fuck everything. Like, play with the Neon and Reyna. Anyways, you have the Sage that is behind the enemies. In the worst case scenario, enemies are gonna end up on A through the vents. And we're playing a 4v3 retake. If we play with the Neon and Reyna. If you don't play with the Neon and Reyna, in the worst case scenario, we can play 1 versus 3 retake on B.
Enemy B.
That was almost 3v3. That was almost 3v3.
One enemy remaining. Spike down mid.
Okay. You have a lot of the gaps that you can fix in your gameplay on a defender side. and essentially a lot of easy gaps that you can fix. And a lot of the gaps that are going to be fixed by the training that I've given you over the time. That's it. Now we can move on to the attacker side. Okay, now let's see what our friend Cocooner can do better on the attacker side of Splinteroni. So, on Split, in rank solo queue, your default site, number 1 priority A site, number 2 priority B site. But how you play this map on a macro and micro level depends heavily on the enemy's team composition on a defender side. If enemies have 0 real sentinels on a defender side, fireman A push, fireman B push, or a B split early on. Like essentially, if enemies have 0 sentinels, there is no reason to touch the A tower and the vents. Like you should just be doing a basic fireman executes on A, fireman executes on B, or a 1-4 split onto the B site. But essentially, when enemies have 0 sentinels, most of the times the best idea is to do a fireman push onto the A site 3 rounds in a row, and then in a 4th round, do some kind of a fake. Fake A go B or fake B go A, for an example. Now, if enemies have 1 sentinel, and that sentinel is Sage, for an example, or Deadlock. In that case scenario, you either want to do a fireman push on A 3 times in a row, or in the first round, you want to do a fireman push onto the A tower and first fight for tower control, and then either end up on A site or go through the vents and finish on B. Basically, when you're doing a fireman push onto the A tower, the whole point of this strat is to take this map control, which is far more important for us than anything else, like to open up the map a bit. If you get 1 or 0 kills, basically 0-1, just go through the vents, finish on B. If you get 2 kills, somehow, finish on A site, pinch enemies on A, and that's it. But if your teammates are just going A, follow them up. If they're not listening to the strategy, fuck it. Just fuck it. Like, just follow your spy carrier, and that's it. Now, if enemies have 1 sentinel, and that sentinel is not Sage or Deadlock, basically Cypher or Killjoy for an example, then in the first round, once again, either do a fireman push onto the A tower, or do a 1-4 split onto the B site. During the split, Spike should be mid, you should be mid as well, obviously. And if enemies have a Sage, Deadlock, plus 1 more sentinel, basically like enemies just have 2 or more sentinels, then do a fireman push onto the A tower in the first round, and based on how that works and how that goes, depends what you want to do in a second round. In this match, enemies only have Vice as a sentinel. So essentially, we should either be doing a fireman push onto the A tower, or a 1-4 split onto the B site. Like any of these. And if you're doing the, a fireman push onto the A tower, classic light shield, 2 shrouded steps, 2 smokes, smoke the cross here, do this type of a smoke on tower, run with your teammates on the ramp, and tell your Jet, Raze, or Valet to dash into this smoke and to pinch the enemies from behind. You can also try doing this and following your Jet, Valet, and whoever you have in your team that is mobile, and try to pinch the enemies from behind, and try to make a sandwich out of the enemies on the A tower. Now, doing a straight up fireman push onto the A site is gonna be a bit of a suicide, because if Vice is playing A with a wall and the Razor Vines, we're gonna have a really bad time, essentially.
Fight once again.
Okay.
I am everywhere.
Let's see this. I like it. He watched the playbook, I like it a lot. He knows.
Shadows traveling.
No?
Reloading.
Let's go. you really need to specify to your teammates what is the plan. I don't know, repeat it like a few times, so it gets in their, you know, mental system. Like Cypher right here, like, I mean, what the fuck is this guy doing, bro?
Reloading.
Ooh. Listen, when you're inside of this smoke, please pay a close attention on what's happening on the minimap, because you need to decide who's gonna be your first duel. Now, first of all, this teleport that you did was a bit risky because you're exposed from the site. We should have teleported inside of the smoke if you want to go in first. Second of all, like, you need to emphasize, like, it is very important that this push is like that during this push, you have 3 or 4 teammates that are playing on a proper refrag potential on the ramp. Like, Reyna cannot go in alone, Neon is here, Sage is there. You know, like, during this type of an execute, if you see that there is a gap, huge gap, in between your allies in this area, go ramp. Like, support your teammates on ramp, don't teleport into the smoke, and just play the refrag from the ramp.
Reloading.
Someone is A.
Spike down.
But also, if we aimed a bit better, like, we would have gotten that kill. Not bad, but you really need to emphasize to your teammates what they should do, you know, during this strategy. Like, basically, that Cypher going inside of this smoke, that was mega stupid, man. Mega, giga, fucking stupid. Like, if he played on the ramp with the Reyna, maybe this would have been completely different, you know? But, yeah. Now listen, what you can always try on split, no matter of the enemy's team composition, you can try doing a 5-man push onto the A tower 3 rounds in a row. Especially in the first round if you go A. Just to create a bit more unpredictable pattern of pushing, and it really doesn't matter, like, in which round we are pushing, because if you're pushing in an eco round onto the A tower, you can simply do a smoke here to cover the cross of your teammates, and then, you know, we can go for various different outplays with a shorty. If you decide to go mid, that is also fine. We should buy the shorty, make sure that we have at least one smoke, one shot step, and go for some aggressive plays. But, you know, the worst thing we can do right now, especially because we know that Vice is either the mid player or the B player, is just doing a 5-man push on B. Like, that's gonna be an absolute Sudoku.
I'll show them. Lintik kayo. Gotta go. Spike is here.
You should have played here with a shorty. Risk it a bit more, like, I mean, it's a split. It's a very close range map. You know? Split, close range map, like, you have enormous amount of outplays with Omen. It just, you know, it's a no-brainer. Basically, like, you know, even if you need to take the mid control alone, jump spot the enemies here, we can use both smokes. If enemies don't have a Sage wall, with these smokes, close the gap with the enemies, and essentially, like, you know, together with these smokes, you can close the gap with the enemies everywhere, and simply fuck up the enemies, you know. If an enemy is playing the vents, we can just go sideways, clear the smoke, clear this little gap that smoke creates here. Then we can clear the whole vents. All of the close range fights, where you can get a kill with a shorty. But the worst thing we can do in this round is, like, just doing a 5-man push on B, because, I mean, against Vice, that's gonna be interesting.
I have the spike. I'm out of here.
But listen, if you notice that in this second round, your teammates want to do a 5-man push on B, then in this eco round, go for the ultimate aggressive play that we have on the B site. I simply, you know, get a classic pistol, 2 smokes, 1 shot a step. Do the smoke for tower, then this smoke, and then like let's send it essentially on top of the box. From top of the box we can teleport in 4-5 different positions, instantly teleport somewhere, try to outplay the enemies, try to get some kills. Like same as you are reading. Like listen, first of all, you should be macro managing your teammates in the first 4 rounds of the attacker's side on any map in ranked solo queue. Like if you're not doing that, and if you're letting your teammates do whatever the fuck they want to do, then you're not gonna have a fun time in ranked. Like there are some very specific rules that we should follow, specific patterns that we want to develop in order to have easier time winning the rounds and winning the matches like later on during the game. Like now if your teammates don't listen, then just pay attention on what your teammates are doing individually, who do you think is gonna die first, and who you need to play with. And in these eco rounds you can also try to do something alone, but early on it is still better if you play together with your allies.
I have the spike. I'm out of here.
Cover going out. Shadows traveling.
That's smoke on tower. Essentially, like, I understand what you wanted to do in this round and stuff like that, but if 4 of your teammates are just going through the B main, and they want to go B, abort the mission. Like, one of the worst things you can do in Valorant is tunnel vision on your plays that you want to do, or the callouts. Like, no matter what type of a callout you give, no matter what type of a play you want to do, based on what your teammates are doing and what you think they're gonna do, depends how you should adapt yourself. But here, I mean, like, if I already see like Spike going through B main, my teammates are going B main in this eco round, fuck it. Let's go for some aggressive play, try to outplay the enemies, try to get into the face of the enemies, maybe try to get a kill before our teammates start dying left and right. That's it. I mean, here, you need, like, if you already wanted to make some pressure on mid, like, you really want to use this smoke to cross right now, because once this smoke disappears, crossing into the mail and fighting the enemies on tower alone is mega hard. Like, you're fully exposed from this angle, from these angles, like, you cannot fight enemies on 2 different positions. And you should have cleared some of these angles a bit better, like, I mean, we still don't know where are the enemies exactly. Like, we didn't check this position here properly. We didn't check this position at all, like don't behave towards the spots like the enemies cannot be there. Like, God knows if an enemy, only God knows what enemies are doing right now. Like, that's why the first 4 rounds are the learning rounds, where we try to learn as best as we can about the enemy's positioning, pattern of pushing, pattern of defending as well, pattern of their utility usage and stuff like that. Like, what we know for a fact during this match, based on the first 2 rounds, enemy Vice is the B player with a full B setup. Mid is open. Enemy Jet is a mid and B player, essentially, and the enemies are playing on A site the Fade, Reyna, and Omen, essentially. So, based on the first 2 rounds, you can already create an extremely good plan for the 3rd round as well. Like, in the first, like, listen, I personally, I don't give a fuck about Valorant anymore. Like, when I play my matches, I don't communicate, I don't care. I play ranked only to lure in people into the stream, wait for them to gather, and then do some actual content. I don't give a fuck, I got Radiant 23 times. Like, but if you want to get Radiant for the first time, like, you need to be willing to communicate a bit more. Like, you don't need to be the boaster in terms of IGLing and tell specifically, hey man, do this, do that, do that. Like, just give your teammates ideas, what they should do. And you need to have 300% focus in the first 4 rounds of the match. But your focus is not only on what you should do, but also what enemies are doing, what your teammates are doing, and taking these small notes. How can we fuck up the enemies in the 5th round, 4th round? What can we do better to have higher chances of winning these rounds? Don't autopilot.
Last player standing.
I'm out of here.
Okay, so in this round here, pushing the A side, solid idea. I mean, generally on split, like, whenever enemies on a defender side are eco, hull buy, or bonus, like they have some low buy, essentially, avoid this area of the map. You don't need it. 5-man push B, 5-man push A. 5-man push B only if enemies don't have a sentinel in the team. If they have a 5-man push on A in this anti-eco, anti-bonus, anti-hull by round, done. Like, there's nothing else that you need to do in a gold, platinum, elo to win this type of a round. But we need a proper smoke setup. And hopefully he's not gonna go for some aggressive play, because that's gonna be really bad. Like, basically, when the enemies are hull by eco bonus, you never want to showcase the enemies all of your best outplays that you want to do. Like, what type of play I would do in this round, for an example, to take the A-side control? I would do our default semi-aggressive execute on A-side that I've covered in the ranked playbook, of course. So, what's that? Giving my teammates a default smoke for tower, just blocking the tower, not the ramp. Giving my teammates a smoke for elbow and for the backset as well, because we need to enter the site a bit more aggressively. We don't really know how enemies are gonna play in this round and what type of positions, and we don't know, you know, how good are our teammates on the attacker side. God knows. So, we're doing this smoke first on tower, smoke for the elbow and CT, paranoid the enemies on the left side, teleporting inside of this corner, clearing this position, getting ready for this fight with your crosser, entering sideways this smoke, taking the elbow control, and then pinching the enemies on the site.
Cover going out.
And once, let me hear it. Like, are you telling them to do anything? Like, just a moment. I want to hear any comms. Like,
If they try something, I'll see it.
¿Habla español? No, ¿cómo? No, ¿cómo estás? Nothing. We just they just organized the. They speak telepathically, you know. They speak with yeah. Okay, fine, sure.
I'm out of here.
Cover going out.
Two mistakes. Like, improper smoke setup for what we're doing and which round we're playing right now. Second mistake, why are you starting your round here? Basically in this corner. Why are you static? And why are you not moving with your teammates? Basically, like, whenever you're playing Omen, apes together strong, no talk needed. Like, whenever you're playing Omen and you're pushing some main area of the map with your allies, like, don't be afraid. Like, use your teammates like a meat shield, essentially. Like, if you want to have a chance to refrag your allies, you need to do this. You know, round starts, instant smoke, your teammates are going in front of you. So as you're dropping the second smoke, you're here. If your teammates are already running fast, and they're, you know, peeking this angle while you're using the smokes. Because you want to be able to fight with your teammates, and most of the times if your teammates are in front of you, you're not gonna die first, unless you catch some stray bullet. It is worth the risk, because you're still able to play a refrag game with your most aggressive teammates. In low elo lobbies, you need to do this, unfortunately.
Shadows traveling.
Reloading.
I mean, okay, so Reyna just peeked you from the ramp. I mean, to be honest, like, we have 3 teammates here, like, I don't know. Like, listen. Just try to communicate to your teammates a bit more in the first 4 rounds. And that's it. Like, basically, in low elo, I don't know, from my experience, you know, I've coached enormous amount of players, like, in between Iron 1 and Immortal 2. I've done enormous amount of Iron 1 to Radiant series. So from my experience, at least. These players are usually waiting for something. You know? Like, they're usually waiting for some call-out. Not always. You know, 40% of times, 30% of times, they're not gonna listen to you at all. They're just gonna autopilot, ignore you, and tunnel vision. But 60 to 70% of times, they will kinda listen what you tell them to do. Kinda. Not perfectly, but at least they will try. So at least we have something to work with. Like here, we're pushing A site. You know, your teammates don't know, are we taking the ramp control? Should this be a 5-man push on A? Fast? Like, you know, they don't know what to do exactly. Like here, at the start of this round, you should have just told your allies, hey guys, Reyna, Jett, and Omen are playing A. Vice is playing B. Can we do a 5-man push onto the A site? Because enemies are playing an eco halberd round. You know, I don't need anything from you. Just push fast through the choke point. And that's it. Now you have something to work with. But just, you know, silently moving through an area of the map without any real idea, the round can easily fall apart.
Cover going out.
Like, basically, you know, your teammates should not have even peeked or considered going through that ramp area of the map. Like, already at this moment of time, your Reyna should have been somewhere here, essentially. And trust me, like, in these low elo lobbies, your teammates are more than willing to rush in and die and take a frags and take the kills. But a lot of the times, your teammates are just gonna follow the call. If you tell them to push something, they will push it. Like, you know, they only see the blood in their eyes. And that's it. Like, while the Reyna was entering here, we should have been here, you know, like, doing the shrouded steps and paranoia, entering the site, and that's it. Fuck the ramp, like, we don't need it. Tell Cypher to smoke it, I don't know.
Why is no one looking up, dude?
Watch out!
Fucking serious?
Get wrecked!
Players left.
Now listen, like, another mistake that we made. Another mistake that we made this early in the match is the pattern of pushing that we were applying. Like, first round you went A, second round on B, third round on A. Now in fourth round, once again, we're pushing B and mid. Like, basically, that cannot happen. Like, you really cannot afford, you really don't want to make this type of AB pattern that is easily readable early on. Like, right now, it is totally fine to push A. Like, first of all, in this round right here, it absolutely doesn't matter if you push B, mid, or A. It literally doesn't matter. But it is just smarter and a better gamble to do the A push again. Why? Because we know exactly what are the enemies doing on A site. And we know the exact enemy's positioning. And also, we can maybe create a bit more unpredictable pattern of pushing to maybe have higher chances of winning the future rounds. Fuck it, Reyna is playing ramp, peeking ramp every round, that's it. Enemy Fade is playing from the bomb site, that's it. Enemy Omen is playing around the vents, mid, together with the Jett and Vice, towards the B site. That's it. Cypher, brother! Cypher, please, main, can you do a smoke here? Whatever type of cage he throws, it's okay. It doesn't matter. Buy the shorty with a light shield and utility. You have money for that in this round because we lost the previous one. Simply do the smoke for the rafters. We can use the 90-degree smoke here to cover our teammates and ourselves for the aggressive play. Paranoid the enemies on the left side. TP into the smoke. Fuck up the enemy that is in the elbow. That's it. If you think that enemy is maybe CT, we can use the fake shrouded steps to reveal him. And now, bunny hop into the elbow. That's it. Like, for an example, you know, like we have like 20 different aggressive plays that we can do on the A set of split. But sending it mid right now into an unknown territory, and a territory that is potentially guarded by the jet that has the outlaw from the second round. So, like, literally in this round right now, if we want to go mid, you need to smoke vents and mails instantly for your teammates. You need to do, like, you're forced to do that. Because no communication. Our teammates are not that good, to be honest. We're playing an force by eco hull by round. We don't know what enemies are gonna do on mid. It's gonna be a shit show. And once again, you can play shotguns and try to find the kills here and here, which is quite easy in this CLO. But the ultimate best idea right now would have been to just send it A again.
I have the spike.
Listen, on any map with a mid area of the map, so basically, you know, split, Haven, Ascent, Sunset. If you have 2 or more teammates going through mid, we need to give them at least one smoke on mid for something. So on split, either the smoke for the vents or the smoke for the mail. But most of the times, if there is no communication at all, just give them the smoke for the vents and that's it. Like, this cannot happen where you have like 2 teammates peeking in the Chinatown market. Cypher is there as well, without with 0 smokes. Like, your teammates are gonna die in 2 seconds. Well, it has been a bit more, like 4 seconds, but yeah, like, whatever.
Shadows traveling.
Enemy mid. Wiped.
And you should have played this round with your teammates on mid. Basically, we're playing a bit of a force buy. Hull by round. I don't know what... I mean, our economy management is horrific already. This is why, like... how you play the first round in Valorant is mega important. Like, if you simply improve your win rate in the first round on both attackers and defender side, and if you follow the proper strategies and give your teammates an idea what to do, you will have 20% higher win rate overall in terms of your attackers and defender side. 10 to 20% higher win rate. So if your win rate right now is like, I don't know, 47% on attack, by you winning more the first round on the attack, your win rate on attack can be like, round percentage win rate can be like 53, 55% easily. Like, it's very, like, but the first round was a fucking shit show, essentially. Because of 0 communication. This round as well. Like, you don't know how much you can trust your teammates. It is only the 4th round of the match. Okay, they want to go mid, let's go mid. You should have went mid as well. It's okay, you can buy a sheriff, no problem. But, we need to do the smoke for vents and mail. Because we have no idea what are the enemies doing on mid. And we have no idea what our teammates are going to do on mid. As well. Let's fight on mid. Once we finish the fights on mid, then we can make maybe some kind of a decision. To either go A or B. Based on the kills that we get. And how many enemies we see there. We will already know where are the enemies. Like, here for an example. We know that Reyna, Jett, and Omen are the mid players. You know, they're playing around this area of the map. Like Reyna, Omen and Jett are primarily here, and Reyna is playing in this sector, right here, every round. We know that Fade is the A player, we know that Vice is the B player. But based on how many kills we get here and who we kill, then we can regroup and try to push something later. But this early on in a match, like in a 4th round, defaulting and letting your teammates do whatever the fuck they want to do in mid. Okay, I mean, you're not gonna have a fun time. I wish I could open my fucking mic to talk, but too shy here. Type in chat. I don't know, type in chat, like, I mean, I don't know, why are you shy? Who are you shy from? Like, listen. Like, you're playing in the same rank with the players that are the same rank as you are. These players are nothing better than you. They're nothing worse than you. You know? Like, generally speaking, like, when you play competitive games, it is much better if you behave towards your teammates and enemies like they are the AI programmed bots. You know, I don't look at these people as humans. Like, literally, for me, they're just artificial intelligence, to be honest, that I'm playing with and against. And I kind of disconnect myself from that human interaction. Like, my job is to get in a match, win a match, get fucking out. That's it. And rank up. So, if your teammates flame you or something like that, like, it's just the AI that is malfunctioning, you know? Ignore it. If they are super toxic and they're not like giving you any valuable info, mute them. Who the fuck cares? Adapt to them. Use them as a bait to trade the kills, and that's it. But also, a beauty of Valorant is that, you know, we can also communicate to our also adapt to our teammates. Like here, we needed to go mid. We needed to support them, essentially. Like this early on in a match, doing some kind of a default play, lurking, flanking, absolutely not worth it. Not yet, at least. I cannot. Okay, this round is also a great learning opportunity. Amazing learning opportunity. Like, this is really good, bro. Really, really good. Like, so what can we learn from this round as well? Enemies are doing super, mega fast rotations. You know? If you notice that enemies are rotating this fast, try some kind of a fake. You know, like in this match we have a Neon, Reyna, Omen, Sage, Cypher. Tell Neon and Sage, for an example, to fake B-set push, because they're, you know, Neon and Sage have a lot of utilities to fake out. I mean, we don't have an initiator, so fuck it. While 3 of you guys are slowly taking the space in the aim and area of the map. In every VOD review and also during our private coaching sessions, like, I've explained how this should look like. What are the cues that you're waiting for, and like, you know, what you should pay attention on. Let's see how this one is gonna end up. Not that good, probably.
Last player standing.
Okay. What rank is this? Goldish platinum. I don't know, like, he has a platinum 2 MMR, but, you know, platinum enemies, like platinum teammates, whatever. Okay. Now, God forbid, like, we have so much knowledge about the enemies. Like, you've gathered so much information. We can create so many different plans. Let's see what we do.
Cover going out. Shadows traveling.
Coming through. Go, go, go. Here. Barrier created.
I'm just utterly disappointed. Disappointment, bro! But you know, like, how can... Like, listen. In low and medium elo lobbies, the main thing that you can abuse to win more matches and rounds is the player's repetition. Players are mega repetitive. They like to go for the same place, same executes, same everything. Like, very, very rarely you will encounter the players that have a very deep playbooks and that are actually using their brain to play the match. That is gonna happen in the lobbies below Immortal 2, maybe like 20% of times. And during these games, you know, we also need to think hard. But in 80% of games, if you just read the basics, you can easily counter the enemies and outplay them. Okay, so every round when we pushed A site, enemy Reyna was peeking the ramp, and our teammates were dying from here. My Cypher doesn't want to do the smoke. I cannot waste the smoke for this. What do we do? Simply, like, start the round by dropping the Paranoimus Rex. Actually, start the round by placing this smoke. Paranoimus Rex for the tower from this position. Let's use the smoke for the site. Let's move in. That Paranoimus Rex will disallow Reyna to peek your teammates for a brief moment of time while we are taking the space on the A site. Maybe it will even push her completely back onto the ramp while still allowing you to play with your teammates. Now, why we cannot do this? For an example, you know, like a default play, like from here or here. Because, God forbid, with these type of teammates, you don't fucking know what they're gonna do. Like, you got a malfunctioning AI with yourself. If you're not there to refrag them and play with them, good luck, essentially. So, you know, we needed to expect this, bro. And push this Reyna back. Well, that was a nice kill. Now listen, man, like, whenever there's some kind of a sage wall, there's some gaps, like, usually you can teleport around them, you know? Like here, you should have just teleported through the wall and tried to connect with the Neon as soon as possible and play with the Neon. Also, I mean, you made all of the same mistakes that you made, like, in a first and third round as well. Execute is way too slow, you're starting way too deep. You know, I don't know why this is your starting position instead of this one and you're moving in with your allies. That's crazy. I mean, at least crazy for this elo. And if you want to support your Neon that is running faster than I don't know, like that black guy from The Boys. I forgot. Speed. A-Train. You do Immortal Plus rank VODs? Yeah, I just, you know, 99% of Valorant community is below Immortal. 99%. So, I mean, like, that's why we don't get them that much. Like, and anyways, like, you know, Hearthstone Immortal players, they usually develop a huge ego already. You know, they think they're radiant and they think they deserve radiant. They're like, yeah, man, like, you know, I'm the big shit. So they kind of lose that feeling for improvement and getting better and a need for help, like, for an example. But, you know. Listen, like, every fight with Omen that you don't need to take, don't take it. Like, for example, here, okay, great kill on the Reyna. We then got a kill on the Omen. Our Neon is stuck on the site. We need to commit to the A push right now. Even though we know that enemies probably rotated, we need to push. Right now, instead of fighting the enemies in the screens, we should be smoking the screens, flashing the ramp, and trying to connect with that Neon as fast as possible and plant the spike. That Neon is alone there, like, she can get flooded by the enemies, you know, really fast. Like, Jet can use the smokes to cross-kill the Neon, and then we need to rotate on B, or maybe cut the noise. Like, the round gets more complicated if our Neon dies. Or if we die.
Shadows traveling.
But the male kitten is there, you know? And this play that you did here is, like, unnecessary. Literally unnecessary. Like, you know that one enemy is tower, one enemy is CT. Let the Cypher deal with this guy. You know? Because you don't know what Vise is gonna do. Like, look at this example. We know that the Fade is here. We know that, so enemy Fade is, here. Vise is here. Like, chances are 80% that this Fade is just gonna stay in the CT and try to fight us from the CT. But what Vise is gonna do, well, we have no fucking idea. She can go CT, she can go behind us, she can fight us from tower, but generally speaking, it really doesn't matter what Vise do, as long as we deal with the Fade, that we know what she's gonna do, as long as we preserve our Neon, make sure that she lives a happy life, and that's it. Like, you have a Cypher in the team. Cypher players are usually playing like a passive bonobos, you know, like fucking koalas. Except they're not cute, you know, they're bold. And this guy is probably gonna stay here, watch your flank, watch the back, and if the Vise decides to do this, he is gonna deal with her, or maybe die, who the fuck cares. But as long as we plant the spike, take the site, and make sure that the Neon, Sage, are alive, we win this round. And there is no reason to isolate any duels with a Vise on the tower.
Player standing.
Oh my god, we lost this round. Well, after this round, there is no turning back, to be honest. This was the only round where we actually had a chance to win it, to be honest. Like, this round is a complete mental breaker. Like, every other round that we lost, okay, there was coming back. But this type of a round, this is a mental breaker for your teammates. After this round, coming back is, like, almost impossible. But, of course, we should try to do it. Okay, now we want to push B. Is that a good idea? Not really. You know, the best idea in this match would be to fake the enemies a bit. They're doing fast rotations. We can take the bomb sets for free. We should try to do it. Especially when you have the Omen's ultimate. And Omen in the team, because Omen can do the fucking smokes across the map. Now, okay, our teammates want to go B. There's no communication, no team play, like, we just need to adapt to them. What did we learn from the previous rounds? Enemies are aggressively peeking the B main area of the map. We need to counter that peak by holding it. Until our teammates reach this position. So what we need to do is simply bin chilling right here. And, you know, just waiting to see what's gonna happen. Like, if the enemies peek, try to push them back and kill them. If enemies don't peek, move with your allies. Now, in this round, we need to go for some aggressive play. Like, what our teammates proved to us in the first 4 rounds is that they're bad, they're mechanically worse than the enemies, their executes are absolutely fucking shit, and if we are not the first to open the site and outplay the enemies, we're gonna have a really bad time. These are the games where you need to turn on the full-on aggressive mode with Omen. Team play doesn't exist. We're just using our teammates as a bait and a refrag tool, and we're trying to win the rounds ourselves. So, we know that the Vice is the B player. She 100% has a wall right here. So, in this round, when we are pushing B site, we have two options. Option number one, pushing B site with the ultimate, which would be the best. It is a bit more of a gamble, because if Vice destroys our shadow here, one of our teammates is gonna be cooked. Why do I say that? Like, so this is the Vice setup. Like, she has a wall here, and probably the Razor Vines, you know, for the choke point, like, you know, here, or maybe here, like, something like this. So, by entering with the ultimate, we eliminate the possibility that we are the only one in the bomb site. Like, we are not gonna trigger this wall. This wall is gonna be triggered by your Neon, or someone else. So, we do the smoke on tower, smoke on CT, paranoia the site, teleport in this corner. We don't see the Vice, we commit to the teleport, and that's, we pinch the enemies on the side with our allies. Anyways, when you teleport here with the Omen, you're never stuck. You can always, like, you know, fake the enemies with the Shrouded Steps, escape with the Shrouded Steps, like, you're never stuck, essentially, as long as you have the Shrouded Steps. Now, but a bit better idea in this round would be to do the ultimate aggressive play that we have with the Omen, because if Vice is actually playing at the backside and she destroys our ultimate, whoever is going here, he is fucking cooked. And we will not be ready to support this ally, and the round is lost. So, smoke. Basically here, smoke here, paranoia the site, TP into the smoke, and from this smoke we can teleport in 6 different locations to outplay the enemies and take the kills.
Go, go, go!
Mistake number 1, we need to hold the push, the peak of the enemies in the B main area of the map. Right now, one of our teammates will die. Maybe, I don't know, but we need to be ready for that.
Going out.
This way! Adapt or die!
Mistake number 2. We were way too slow to support our teammates.
Cover going out.
This way! Adapt or die!
But ultimately, to be honest, like, considering how we played this round, this was the best we can do. Like, literally, there is absolutely nothing better that you could have done in this round. Anyways, this whole match, you mainly lost on a defender side. Like, basically on split in ranked solo queue, if you don't win 8 to 9 rounds on defense, like, winning on the attacker side is almost impossible. Like, basically, if you want to have a high win rate on split in ranked solo queue, on defense you want to make sure to have like 8 or 9 rounds in the pocket, because it's very easy to do that. Map is heavily defender side of the map, and you want to make sure that you win the first round on the attacker side by following the right rules, strategies, tactics, tips.
Behind you.
But also on the attacker side, like, we made so many mistakes, like, in these early rounds, it just, you know, when you pile all of this together, that's why you lost this match.
Blinding.
Last player standing. Spike down B.
I mean,
Behind you.
yeah.
Blinding.
First of all, this paranoia that you did here, I mean, this paranoia didn't have any purpose. You know, much better idea here, since you're stuck in the backside and your Sage is there, is wait for the enemies a bit. Like, in this elo, enemies will almost always push you. Like, in this elo, players are hungry for the kills. And, you know, if you just wait a bit and let the enemies come a bit closer, you can destroy them with the paranoia, reposition, and from multiple different angles, try to take the kills.
Last player standing. on B.
But after this jet kill, like, you need to position at the like basically, whenever you're stuck in this spot, and enemies are coming from the site, and from that position as well, you need to TP here, and you need to gamble this teleport. If you don't have a smoke to cover yourself up, or to cover one of these angles, because if enemies peek you from this angle, and from this angle in the same moment of time, I mean, you need to be God to kill all 3 enemies. Or 2 enemies.
Team Ace.
Shadows trailing. Cover going up. No charges.
Healing you.
Surprisingly not bad. Like, surprisingly not bad. Like, 1-4 default execute on the B site. Solid utility usage. You know?
Cover going up.
Solid pathing. I don't think you could have played any better refray game.
No charges.
Healing you.
Like, it cannot be better than this. Like, considering what type of teammates we got. Now listen, as I always advised you, like, try not to be the guy that is planting the spike. If you end up on the site with a spike, drop it to one of your teammates and let them plant the spike. Because, especially when you make this numbers advantage, while you're planting the spike, your teammates can push everything. They can isolate 1v1 fights. And God help you with that. We are already 3 versus 3.
Spike planted.
Wall raised. Face your fear!
Soon we will be like 1 versus 3. Listen, like, generally speaking, you know, one of the best plays that you can do during the post plant on the A set of split. If your teammates are spread on the site, on the B set of split, so your teammates are playing here, there, on the site, they're everywhere. Like, we're not playing a standard post plant, you know, like planting the spike here and being in the B main area of the map, for an example. Like, the best play you can do with Omen is if you have a smoke, use the smoke here, teleport on rafters, and play inside of the smoke. On this angle right here. 3 kills. Literally 3 kills. If enemies are dropping down, you can just grab them, peek them, kill them. If enemies are coming into the smoke, they will never clear this smoke by doing this. They will always place their crosshair ready for this left, this right fight. Here. They will never pre-assume that you're there. Like, just... Oh, Jesus Christ, my mouse died. Just, you know, be ready for this fight. Especially if you have a shorty. Even easier kills. And if enemies are, you know, dropping down, maybe you can try, you know, after taking a kill in the smoke, we can try to go behind them. You can go all the way deep inside of the mail room. Kill the enemies. We can try teleporting in this corner. You have so many different outplays with this specific setup. Especially if you're 3v3 or in some kind of a disadvantage. Because enemies have a really strong ultimate for the retake. Do it. And if your teammates are, you know, like, just playing from the site like this. And here we have a huge problem, like... We're not... No one is able to help the Cypher. Like, if Cypher takes this fight... No one can help him. Also... You know, if Cypher takes the fight in the city... No one can help him. Like, you always want to figure out a way... How to play around this teammate... Like this Cypher... And not around this guy here. And anyways, like, I don't know what you're doing right now. Like, we should be... You know, instead of... Yes, okay, we should look at that angle. Fine. absolutely fine. But while we are looking at this angle, we should be close to this wall. So that as soon as the Sage gets in a fight, or Cypher gets in a fight, we're ready to swing out and support that ally. Now listen, whenever you get seized by the Fade seize, disconnect yourself with the Shrouded Steps. Just disconnect yourself. So that the dog cannot attach to you and you can move freely. Maybe you can also fake the enemies that you teleported somewhere. And also, man, like, if you ever end up in some kind of a pinch, like in numbers disadvantage, use your smokes to isolate the enemies. You know? Like right now, your Sage is doing this. Like this is what your Sage is doing. And enemies are coming through the CT, from the rafters, and from this side. Give the Sage this smoke. Or give her this smoke. Protect her from herself, essentially.
One enemy remaining.
Yep.
I will rip the light from them. Shadows.
Actually, even this is fine. Like, if your teammates cannot kill that Reyna on the rafters. If the Paranoia is not doing anything. Your Cypher doesn't want to smoke. But fuck it. Very good adaptation.
Watch out!
The problem is, like, if you want to go A right now, we have one smoke, but better than having, like, one teammate less.
Cover going out.
And once again, during the A push, you're way too slow. Like, focus, like... Anyways, if your teammates are not executing something super fast, fuck the smokes. You don't need a second smoke. Take the aim and control first, see what your teammates are gonna do, and then do the smokes.
Cutting their vision.
Get out of my way!
And here, instead of doing the rafter smokes, you should have done the CT smoke. I mean, if you already have teammates that are moving through ramp onto the tower, and you have only one smoke available, don't smoke the rafters. Always smoke the CT. If you have one smoke available. Like, either CT or CT and elbow. This smoke doesn't do... I mean, this smoke is also very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. If we are pushing the A site without the CT smoke. And our teammates are going through here and through here. Enemies from rafters can just isolate us into individual fights. We can die from so many different angles. And we can never truly pinch the enemies that are here. Hey CHARLATAN, I understand that it's better to play Omen Raise Jet, but is it okay to add Vele on the list? Vele is really nice. Really good, to be honest. Like, she's gonna be good for players. Basically, you know, what makes an agent good for players' improvement in Valorant and rank grind? Versatility, self-sustainability, and a second chance. Like, agent that allows you to make mistakes for which you're not gonna get punished immediately and from which you can learn immediately is always better rather than an agent that is unforgivable. For the players that are learning the game. That's why Chamber is good, that's why Reyna is good, that's why, not Reyna, Omen, Jet, Raze, like, they just have such a powerful kits that are forgivable. And maybe you make a mistake during the initial push, but then you're gonna get a second life to correct that mistake. And make sure that in the future you don't make it. Like, Vele is gonna be good, like, she's gonna be like top 5 agents to grind Valorant, 100%. Listen, this execute on A site, very good. I mean, very good that you cleared the site. We needed to do that. But as soon as you ended up behind the screens, you needed to move into the elbow and help the Reyna. We took the side control. Our Reyna is mega aggressive. In the screens right here. That is the ally that we want to support. Sage is probably gonna stay alive. You know, she's just gonna plant the spike, waste her time. Like, this is why you give this job of planting the spike in the hands of your teammates, so that you can do something proactive. Either taking more space, preparing yourself for the post plant, or following your most aggressive gorillas. If we did that, if we actually played with the Reyna, we would have been maybe like 3v2, 2v2, I don't know. I see, thank you. I've been watching your content a lot for the past 3 years of playing the game. Greetings from Philippines. Muchas gracias, my friend. Now listen. This is a very interesting situation in which you're gonna end up a lot on split. So, whenever you're playing a controller, and we're stuck on the site in a numbers disadvantage during the post plant. Even if you're 3v3, the best idea is to play around this smoke. Always. Simply chilling on this portion of the smoke and isolating the deuce with the enemies that are coming here. Or on the contact between your enemies and teammates, peeking through the smoke and taking this type of a fight. Especially if you're following the economy rules and you have the shorty as well. This is an easy kill for you, and then we can focus on the rest of the enemy team. We can also try to teleport under or behind the enemies and try to outplay them. But everything else is pupu kaka, essentially. We can also put this type of a smoke to play around it and outplay the enemies. You know, getting in this corner and then from this corner peeking the enemies and trying to take some isolated fights. But usually it's better to isolate the enemies with this smoke from the elbow. And to hold that smoke. Ooh. Winnable? Yellow wise. Easy kill. Come on. But listen, also, so enemy Vice knows that you're on the bomb site. Spike is planted for you. You're playing Omen. First of all, you have 2 shrouded steps. Like, the beauty of playing Omen is that a lot of the rounds you can simply win by doing nothing. Like, without firing a single bullet. Like, these 1v1s, like, 1v1 clutches are the easiest with the Omen. Like, Omen is the most versatile inside of them. Enormous amount of smoke setups, TP setups, like, if you have any of this ability available, you have higher chance of winning that round. Like, you know that Vice is coming through elbow. Why don't you TP? Up here. And from this position, try to surprise her and kill her. Or, even better idea, Spike is planted for this. TP away. TP onto tower. Playing the retake. Playing the retake. With this Spike plant there. And against an enemy that is tower is almost impossible. Like, if you don't hit this headshot, I mean, it's really hard. Like, just, you know, jump spot the enemies. You can also try to spam him through the wall to distract him a bit and maybe get him off the spike. Your smoke resets. Done. One way. Like, so many options. Yoru is... he is not. Because he doesn't have smokes. Like, playing the post plants and retakes without the smoke is like not doable sometimes. Is really coming out tomorrow for NA player CS, and for EU and other regions I think it's Thursday. Okay, but overall, like, we mainly lost this match on a defender's side and in the early rounds of the attacker's side. And on defense, I think I explained quite well what you need to do, what you need to practice, and what I require you to do moving forward. Let's pretend that your 3 months of training are starting today. Let's redo everything again. And let's abuse the shit out of me. Okay? Okay. Other than that, thank you for watching this one. This VOD review. Subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Join my Discord server for private coaching, for giveaways. Like right now I have a giveaway for, I don't know anymore, like coaching and Valorant points. Tune into the daily Twitch streams. I don't know if they're gonna be daily forever. Depends how Valorant develops, to be honest. And yeah, you know, this is what, like 131st VOD review on the second YouTube channel. See ya in the next one.